All right. Robotic.
Nope, no robot.
Thank you. So it's always fun when things that should be completely linear and logical, like
Could
just
you share it on Discord, please?
yes, I will do that.
Thank you.
The whole you do it the right way and then it doesn't work and you do it the same way again and it works. That's fine. That's not annoying at all. Anyway, hey everyone, that's enough of that. Oh well, welcome. It is Sunday. It is Sport Ball Sunday. So I'm surprised to see folks here. Maybe not. I don't know what the Venn diagram of our community and sport ball fans are. But thank you for being here instead of doing whatever people do on Sport Ball Day. We are finna play some D&D. It is set in the same world, but a very different part of the world than the campaign around the Fey Queen's Heart. So first, why don't we introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about where people can find you, and also a little background on your character. Kelly, you go first.
I'm Kelly, my fair Kelly. You can find me on basically all social medias there. Um, I haven't really been doing too much streaming other than some D&D ourselves with actually all of these people around over on my channel. And I will be playing Clover, a half-lane fighter who happens to have a pony named Lucky. And I think that's, what I'll be playing today.
Cool. Mish.
Yes. Hold on. Getting my windows all right. I am Misha, less than 3, here on Twitch. You can follow me on Twitter at Misha Weha. You'll probably find me most likely here or modding the Juices TV program. I am going to be playing Min, who's a Minotaur. She's an artificer. She has a robot named Robot. And she has a donkey named Donkey who pulls her cart. Because, in theory, she's like a merchant, but she's really bad at it. And I think I have a picture that might show up if I do this. So that's her. She keeps all her tools on her horns.
Perfect. Sin.
Hi, I'm Sin or Potato9_juice on Twitch. I will be streaming again. March 7th is my next stream. You can find me on the Instagrams at rnotart or rnotcomics, or on the Twitters at rnotcomics as well. I will be playing Mars, a changeling rogue who is out looking for their ex-comrade who stole the Great Potato artifact. And because they thought that Carbon had the artifact, they now owe Carbon money. So, yeah. Tough.
Hey, I'm 98 Tough Love. You can find me on Twitch at 98 Tough Love. You can also find me on Twitter at that name. And I am playing Carbon, who is a beast-hide shifter barbarian. Definitely doesn't turn into a bear that sets people on fire. That would be crazy. He likes gambling, and is trying to get Mars to pay him back all the money that they now owe him. So, good times.
Awesome. Cool. So, just a little bit of background as to where you are. And I've left it, I think, intentionally somewhat vague. So I'm not, you don't have to memorize pages and pages of lore to know where you fit in. But you find yourselves in the Treaty Lands. The Treaty Lands make up the majority of the central portion of the Deresian continent. It is bounded on the north by the Farron Empire, led by their god king. This is a relatively new, relatively small, but very, very powerful nation due to their melding of magic and machines. It is bounded to the east by Chernai, which is a agrarian country that has built up its strength on the basis of trade, primarily sea trade. The Chernai ships travel all over. They are not unknown in Ashantor or even in cities like Malavok that might be familiar to those who have seen parts, at least, of the big, long Fey Queen's Heart campaign. It is bounded to the south by two nations, the Freeholds, which are really the remnants of an old kingdom of Dinar that occupied this land until it was mostly conquered and beaten back by the Farron Empire and its allies. There are the Negalese, who sort of hang out in their little jungle peninsula and don't do a lot and don't let people in, but they are known to be necromancers and assassins, and sometimes assassin necromancers and vice versa. So fun people. And then to the west are the Lakelands, which have a little bit of autonomy, often halflings, but lots of humans, very mixed. And then to the far west along the coast are the Great Plains, where the Kithering Horde roams. These are beast folk and wilder halflings. So halflings, but with pointy ears and tufts and fangs and a little bit feral. A vast group of people who just kind of roam from spot to spot and do whatever they want. And then to the far, far north, actually an adjacent island, is Voivisa, which is a kind of a snowbound island nation that is a direct possession of the Farron Empire. That is where you'll find some, hags and fairy queens and things like that. So we talked a little bit before stream about where individuals might be from. And it is up to them to decide precisely what brings them to Ditchwater Gulch, which is a garbage little town, by the way. So it sits on the site of what was Danaran Outpost. To the very north of the current Ditchwater Gulch is a ruins. There's a ruined bridge. There's a strange tower that seems to resist the elements and the passage of time, but it has no known entrance. And there's a big old pit that was probably a mine of some sort, but no one really knows how deep it goes. But the current settlement is dusty and dirty and relatively lawless. This is a place where people from, outlying settlements or farmsteads might come in to trade. The only advantage it has is it has a mine, a silver mine that is largely played out. And it has an almost guaranteed source of muddy but potable water. Other than that, it's just the worst. But although it is part of the treaty lands, which are technically under the purview of the Farron Empire, you don't see a lot of their legates coming through. They don't seem to be greatly involved in the day-to-day operations of the town, which means some freedom. You don't have to worry about basically robots coming and killing everyone for breaking the law. There is a temple to the God King in town, kind of on the eastern side of town. And it is expected that on days of devotion that people show up, but most people in town probably just do it as a matter of habit, just to not raise the ire. And because no one wants a legate to come in, much less one of the eyes or the hands of the God King, which are arcano engineering constructs that can be really, really terrifying and weird. So to the north is mountains, probably 10 days journey, the source of the Ditchwater River. To the south, the river ends in a kind of stagnant fen, quite salty, probably 2 or 3 days south. And on either side of Ditchwater Gulch are big bluffs or mesas, So this is, at one time, there was almost certainly a much greater flow, some sort of ancient river cut its way through this massif. But now it's just a kind of meandering, windy, silty, brown muck that is your river. Most people, by the way, probably drink well water because the river is kind of nasty. So you get all of the joys of living in kind of a semi-arid, kind of deserty environment, but also right next to stinky mud that attracts all kinds of insects. So it's a lovely, lovely town. Why are you here? Are you here for something? Are you here to get away from something? Are you here on your way to somewhere else?
Well, Min's here to get away from something. Probably collecting your thoughts. In general, Min used to be an artificer at a manufactory in, what you would say, the Freelands?
In the freeholds, yeah.
The freeholds. But she's a problem, and that is she likes just making whatever she wants instead of what the client wants. Especially if, like, some kid in the street's like, oh, I want a little toy. And I'm like, okay, I can make that. And I make it, I give it to you. But then that was the materials that were needed to make, like, the war weapons and stuff that we were contracted to. Any rate, long story short, she's been blacklisted from the industry there. So she decided to become a merchant. But the problem continues when you say, I'm going to trade your raw materials, and then you make something out of the raw materials, and then you can't earn the money back.
Mm-hmm.
So she probably has a few debts here and there, a few things where she's like, well, I can probably fix that in a while if I find something else to get. Maybe if I try adventuring, I'll actually make money. I don't know. So she's in Ditchwater Gulch because no one really wants to go here. And she's just, maybe they'll forget.
Yes.
Maybe they'll sort themselves out. We'll see.
And let's say, because the freeholds are the remnant of the Denaran kingdom, you might have come across records of a mine, specifically a source of adumbrum, which is a very, very useful crystalline substance. It can power small devices. It is what powers many of the firearms and other weapons. It is greatly sought after, and you probably would have found that in this area, there was in fact a mine, which is this now a giant pit up near the ruins to the north of town. So it could be, it's very valuable, and also the sort of material that you would be running low on since you're no longer affiliated with a manufactory. So maybe kill two birds with one stone, see if you can find a source. Just because it's no longer being mined commercially doesn't mean that there wouldn't be some sort of supply. So you might be able to find some, make some stuff, and then maybe even sell either the adumbrum itself or the things that you make with it. That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Who else is here? And I'm sorry, why is anyone else here? In this, I really want to emphasize this is a garbage place. And the people aren't much better.
Clover is in Ditchwater Gulch because Clover is kind of just passing through. They're trying to get away from something, trying to get away from their family right now. They're also kind of just looking out for opportunities, money is important, but so anytime that's an opportunity, definitely Clover's eyes and ears perk up at that.
So kind of living the vagabond life.
Yeah, and kind of just starting it. So kind of just passing through. It might be like the third place they've stayed since really leaving.
Yeah. And maybe you're heading from the Lakelands over to Chernai.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of work there. You could even find yourself in one of the big cities on the coast and hop a ship and go explore the world. You probably didn't realize this is a vast, vast continent. You probably didn't quite realize exactly how long it would take you because you maybe have been traveling for a bit and you're just now kind of entering the wilds of the Treaty Lands. So, but at least maybe you have an aspiration in mind. Anyone else as to reasons, either Mars or Carbon?
Well, Carbon is all about the lawlessness, because do you realize how easy it is to win games when you show up as a bear and set people on fire when they piss you off? He's made so much money doing that. Kind of a little bit more difficult to do that when law people show up and want to ruin your good time. So the farther away from them that he can get, the better it is. On top of that, I think Carbon and Mars potentially met here. So Carbon is also now tagging along with Mars to be like, hey, you got that money yet? You got that money yet? Oh god, that person's trying to kill you. Hang on, let me get him. Smash. Okay, you got my money now? So yeah, that's kind of Carbon's deal. He's just here for a good time, not a long time.
All right. How does Carbon feel about the God King, about the Farron Empire? I mean, by all stories, the God King is divine and legitimately has a lot of power. I mean, you probably have seen some of the mechanisms of war that the Farron Empire brought to bear here those many decades ago when they conquered it. It's substantial.
Yeah, Carbon kind of just wants to stay very, very far away from that because it kind of intimidates him. He's not super into touching any of that. He'd rather just stay far, far away and relatively is under the radar or as far away from the radar as he can get.
Yeah. And maybe by your activities, you have found that in larger settlements, you might attract a little bit of attention from the God King's legates and other agents. So here, although the God King's presence is felt, you don't feel like you're under his watchful eye, everything that you do. Okay, that makes sense. Do you think maybe there might be a place where there's a wanted poster up?
Yeah, it's very possible. Carbon's causing a lot of problems in his dreams.
Okay. So the plan is to stay here until that wanted poster goes up or follows you. Got it. What about Mars? What is Mars here looking for?
Mars is here looking for their quote unquote friend who is no longer their friend because they backstabbed them. They heard that their comrade who goes by Venus or the Phantom Queen is or was in Ditchwater, and they have this artifact known as the Great Potato, and they want to retrieve that from them because Venus stole that from them. But even though Venus stole it from them, even though they were stealing it from somebody else, probably stole it from somebody else.
Yes. And I'm going to say that neither of you know what the artifact actually is. And you've simply called it the Great Potato because it is clearly powerful and it does have a somewhat kind of misshapen, oblong, almost organic appearance. But it's not like a potato.
Yeah.
Because that would be silly. So,
Indeed.
So yes, you and your former friend. So is Venus the heisty type?
Yeah, she's the backstabbing type too.
Interesting. And is it fair to say that you and Venus look a little bit alike? Or
possibly
could look a little bit alike?
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that right now you might look a little bit like Venus?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, as far as where people are staying, now you could certainly pitch a tent anywhere outside. I mean, there's not really even city limits, but anywhere kind of outside the perimeter of buildings, you could just camp. There is a miners' camp over near the mine to the far east. If you're watching us if you're in chat or on YouTube later, directly below me is a little detail of the map. So to the far east of the map is the mine. So there's a set of tents, some large for kind of processing the ore, weighing it up, etc. And then just for mine workers, many of whom are itinerant or seasonal. So you could pick up some day work at the mine. And an advantage of that might be a little bit of pay, or at least some food and lodging in a tent. You could be paying to stay at one of the, mostly in terms of inns, it's places of business that have a room to let. So you could certainly do that. Or you could be camping up on one of the mesas. So where is everyone staying? Like, where have you found a base, or are you just rolling into town?
Is there don't know the right name for it, but someone who does horseshoes and such?
A farrier, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I try to stay there?
Yes, you can certainly rent a room from the farrier,
Yeah.
Stipo. So he is just across the river, like right on the western side of town, where the road that extends down to the south and then around that great salt lake kind of crosses the Ditchwater and then makes a dog leg to the east to serve as effectively the main street of town. So he's right there near the bridge. So we'll say that you've got Lucky in a paddock behind Stipo's farrier shop, and have rented out. I mean, it's basically a loft above the stables. It's not great, but everyone here, by the way, is in town is looking for ways to augment their income. So it's not hard. There is a inn, but it is also a business. So there is a relatively nice sort of adobe building run by a woman named Morella, and they provide entertainment and stress relief for members of the community and those traveling through. So while it is entirely possible to rent a room there, the room comes with a particular type of service.
Yeah, I think Carbon has picked up some work at the mines and has been staying there, but like every now and again will save up to go spend a night at the inn.
Okay.
That's his jam.
Okay, yeah, so you've been around, and maybe some of Morella's employees might know you by sight.
Yeah.
Min.
Would there be anyone in town that would need artificing work? Because otherwise...
Well,
go ahead.
Yes, the sheriff of town, a man named Hod, also runs the trading post. They don't really rate a sheriff, so it's more like he's one of the wealthier members of town, so he just kind of like, I'm going to be the sheriff, which mostly means he's in his store, and then people come to him if there's a dispute. But yeah, you can certainly seek to form a relationship with him, whether that is to create or certainly to repair goods that people bring in, because it's not just people coming in and say, I need to buy a new saddle or I need to buy a new tool. It's often I need to get this fixed because I can't afford to buy a new one. And you do have a particular talent with fabricating and repairing things. So I think for let's see, how persuasive are you when it comes to your previous kind of prequel conversation with the shopkeep / sheriff of town?
Right. Like, I'd probably just roll in the town, like look around and say, oh, do you need someone to fix things?
Yeah.
I could I can fix things pretty good. If you we have a place to stay for a bit, I'm just looking to stay here for a little while. If you need some help.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a persuasion for me.
All right.
Or you can be creative. You could.
No, persuasion's fine.
Okay.
I rolled a 21
Yeah.
with a 19 on the die.
Perfect. So before the action starts, so this is just kind of backstory. This individual is, maybe a little bit, because you're a Minotaur, but then is smart enough to recognize the quality of the tools that jangle from your horns, and maybe tests you a little bit, like hands you some sort of device, and it's something that they think is really complicated, and you're just like, oh, it's fine, you just need to grease it up, boom, done. And he gets the idea, oh, I could charge someone like 5 silver for that, and it took you 10 seconds. Think about the markup. And because you're basically offering your services just for a room to stay, he will put you up in his daughter's room. His daughter has long since left town because no one wants to live here. But it is actually very comfortable, if a little frilly.
Yeah, is it basically as it was left? He just basically was like, well, she'll be back sometime. I'm just gonna shut the door. It's full of.
Yeah, it's a little dusty. It's very, very frilly. It's very kind of teenage girl who dreams of becoming a debutante, even though she lives in like the worst place in the world, and has almost certainly run off to one of the big cities to follow her dreams. But there are lots of books. There's like lots of makeup and perfume and fancy dresses and all that kind of stuff. So, and at this point, you get the sense that Hod has reconciled that his daughter isn't coming back. So it's like, basically just don't wreck it. If you find something that you would be helpful to you, it's cool. You can take it. Because he knows that he's going to get a lot of value out of you. And you do. You spend several hours a day fixing things, modifying things. And Hod seems to have, with the limited flow of traffic, he seems to be very, very happy. He occasionally jangles the little coin pouch at his belt, very, very in a very satisfied fashion, and seems to think very kindly of you.
Yeah, and I'm all like, oh, this is a reasonable rate for room and board. This is perfect.
It's free. It's very reasonable.
Nice of him.
Yeah, it's free. It's reasonable.
To keep me here.
Yeah.
And the repair work's interesting. Sometimes it's the same things, but it's new materials every day.
Yeah.
I'm probably, grabbing paper and like sketching out cool things I could make if I only had the raw materials, because there's not much I can do with repair stuff. But
beautiful. And where is everyone? So we've got Min staying at the trading house. We've got Carbon staying with the miners. We've got Clover staying with the farriers depot. Where is Mars staying? Or is Mars just rolling into town today?
I think Mars would try to either sneak into the inn or try to if the service of what you speak of is what I think of, they'd probably try to use their shape changer abilities to pose as employees to try to sneak into rooms and snoop around people's rooms to see if it's either Venus's room or if the potato artifact is there.
Yeah, well, we'll say that Morel's house has a relatively large attic space. And maybe at one point it was outfitted with rooms or maybe like a gambling area. But with the decline in population and fortunes of the town since the mine has stopped being as productive, it's now just dusty and it's kind of storage. So it's relatively easy for you to stay up there, be up there and be undisturbed. And you can certainly use your ability to appear like other people to go unnoticed. Although there are some close calls. You like maybe see the person that you look like exiting a room and you have to quickly duck away so that it's not obvious that there's two of them. Why don't you give me an investigation check just to see what it is that you learn through maybe several days of poking around.
An 8.
I would say you even, engaged in a little conversation with some of the employees, posing as another one just to see, I heard that there was a person who came through. No one recalls anyone of that description coming through town. There have been maybe in the past 3 or 4 months various different groups of strangers, but nothing that really cues you into this was Venus.
Okay.
Cool. So we have you all situated. And at least a couple of you know each other. What happens next?
Clover is going to try and find some people playing cards, dice, some sort of game to play.
Guess who's playing dice?
Okay. Well, you can certainly you can pay to hang out and be entertained in the lounge at Morel's.
Yeah,
There are
that's
there
probably
are
what-
games of chance, but it's designed to be kind of an experience. Now, the place is hung with like chiffon and a few tapestries. There are some mundane and a few minor magical lights that give it a kind of a comfortable glow. And they've done their best to seal up the gaps between the wooden planking of the exterior of this building just to keep it from being quite so dusty inside. So if you squint your eyes really hard, it seems kind of sumptuous. But then again, if you look closely, everything and everyone's kind of dusty and dirty. But at least here they make an effort to create a respite from the harsh sun and the grit of the outdoors. And part of the pay is the just enjoyment of overall hospitality, not the very special kind of hospitality that means you have to go upstairs, but you are treated like lords and ladies, and you are left to gamble. And the miners really do like to gamble, and they do like to spend whatever their pay is here at Morel's because it's the closest. So certainly. So are Clover and Carbon at the same table as a couple of miners?
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to see whether you're winning or losing. Go ahead and give me either insight to represent your ability to kind of read everyone else and make good choices, or sleight of hand to cheat. Let me know which one you're doing, though.
And I say that Clover isn't trying to win. Clover's trying to break even for other reasons.
Yeah.
Not sure if that makes a difference.
It's still the same role. You still would either need to cheat or kind of try to read the other people playing.
Okay, I was just saying like more like Clover's playing it safe, I guess is what I was trying to say.
That works.
Yeah, Carbon said go big or go home. We're gonna do an insight. Just trying to get a read on the people around him.
Yes.
I got a 6 for my insight.
I got a 19.
Well, what you notice is that there are 2 miners. One is human, one is like maybe half dwarvish or maybe just very short and stocky. It's hard to tell. The half dwarf is basically just playing dice as an excuse to sit here and drink and ogle the employees. The human gives you a read like maybe they're more desperate than they ought to be.
Excellent.
And I will say the human is going to try to cheat. And you don't see you don't see what their hands are doing, but you can just tell from getting a very, very good read on them that they are cheating, or they are just about to try to cheat. Clover, however, has won the past 4 rounds and is attracting a fair amount of attention. Since you rolled really poorly, I'm deciding that you're failing at your objective of not attracting attention. So you're attracting attention by winning, and maybe Clover's being, it's like, I don't know, I'm never this lucky, guys. I'm not trying to, just trying to play it down. Yeah.
Like Clover actually checks to make sure it's not the weighted dice she carries.
Right. Maybe you offer to switch dice with somebody, you're just doing your best to not attract too much attention. I will say that both the human and the dwarfish miner are getting a little bit testy, not to the extent that they think that you're cheating, but they're really starting to not like it. Now, of course, Mars can be anywhere Mars wants to be, in whatever guise you would like to be. So are you hanging around in the parlor watching this, or are you on your way out and you just kind of catch, because you certainly know Carbon?
Yeah, Mars would be in a guise of one of the employees that should have been there, but they took care of them. Oh, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Wow. Fine.
They just tied them up and locked them in a closet. It's fine, okay?
Yeah. Or you impersonated someone else and said, you don't need to come in today, so we don't have to worry about what happens when they break free, and then point fingers at you. Your choice. I mean, you could have them locked up in a closet. I would say your experience is eventually you will have to let them out or kill them. You tell me.
This makes more sense.
Okay. And would be much easier to just show up as looking like Merle and say, oh, hey, sweetie, we don't need you today. Take a day off.
Yeah.
So cool, yes. So you are free to move about and interact, and you see the spectacle that Clover is making by being extraordinarily lucky, and probably pick up enough. Why don't you what is your passive insight?
Mine?
No, Mars's.
Sorry.
It's over on this sheet directly below your saving throws.
The investigation?
Insight. Or what is your insight bonus, and then add 10 to it. It's the same thing.
Why can't I find insight on here?
It's right above investigation, two above.
Yeah.
It's based on your wisdom.
Yeah, it's there's a passive perception, investigation, insight investigation. Yeah.
It's 13, I think.
Something. Just, you get a little bit of a sense that something's about to go down. Just reading the body language coming from the table. Clover seems nervous. And Carbon seems very watchful. And the 2 miners seem annoyed. There's some tension building over there. And I mean, it wouldn't be a day at Morel's if there wasn't some sort of brawl down in the parlor. So it's not like it's that unusual, but just your spidey sense tingles a little bit that things might be going south over at that table. Min, perhaps,
I think I'm delivering some items that were dropped off for repair.
Yes.
Just some buckles and straps that were rusting a bit, got them cleaned up.
Yes, exactly. So you step in to see. Well, I mean, it's you've been over here before. So I would say you work your way up to the bar with a little kind of oilcloth wrapped parcel of goods that you have repaired with a delivery for Miss Morel. So back at the table, what happens?
Clover's not liking all the tension, goes all in. Like, next chance.
in the hopes to like lose it all and
Yeah.
and maybe diffuse the tension if one of the miners wins.
Yeah.
Carbon.
So I
You
have
see
a feature.
you see the human's eyes light up when Clover goes all in. And then a very kind of obvious shifty look on his face, and you can see him doing something under the table.
Great. So I'm gonna say that Carbon is also going to try to cheat
Okay.
because Carbon wants to win,
All right.
especially if there's all that on the table.
Well, why don't you give me a sleight of hand? This will be contested against the miner's sleight of hand. 5 total.
Yep.
Cool. He got a 6. Well, actually, technically 7. He is not proficient at sleight of hand, but he does have a bonus on his dex. So you both fairly obviously, Clover, just passively, you see this happen. I'm going to make the dwarfish, half dwarf, whatever, short guy make a roll, though, just to see. Oh, ooh, with a 19 on the die, he definitely picks up that both Carbon and the taller miner have just attempted to cheat. And because the miner got the higher score, the miner I've got 6 aces, and then goes to it, like, without even like paying attention. He's got tunnel vision on the stack of coins, and a lot of their bet has been in silver dust. But goes to swipe it all. The dwarf stands up, kicks back his chair, pulls out a revolver, and points it at Carbon and the taller miner, and says, "I don't like being cheated. Y'all better put that gold down."
Well, now, hey there, I ain't even touched it yet. And Carbon is just gonna be very casual and sit back, throw his boots up on the table, be like, "That guy over there, he's the one touching all your stuff there, bud."
The dwarf, this is something I can't do, but the dwarf will do the whistle. And several other miners at different tables will turn and look and see that one of their compatriots has a firearm trained on a couple of others.
This seems like a predicament.
Nods to the human miner and says, "We'll deal with this later. You better skedaddle." So the human miner, who has stepped back and dropped everything, just takes off out the swinging doors. "We don't like strangers coming into town trying to cheat the hard-working folk of Ditchwater Gulch.
And I don't like walking away from a table broke. So seems like we're both unhappy.
As this is going on, can Clover try to make the room dark just by finding whatever's the brightest source of light and trying to, like if it was real life, just a power outage would be perfect. But that's
all right. So there are some curtains, although they're already drawn. There are some lanterns and candles, and there are a few little orbs that glow somewhat fitfully. They're obviously very, very old and maybe slightly damaged. So there are some magical sources of light as well. The overall lighting, it's technically bright light, but the effect is that it's relatively dim. So
it's dispersed enough that it's not like easy to just
yeah.
So never mind.
Unless you have a spell or something that could make things dark, or can dispel magic in some way.
This is Clover just looking around thinking this.
All right.
Only.
A couple of the other miners step up beside this short, stout fellow, and he looks at you and says, "You better fill your hands, stranger."
Carbon will take the warhammer off his back and just kind of drop it on the ground next to him. Like, well, come on now, fellas. We don't gotta do this. You take your cut and you skedaddle. We don't gotta fight here.
They look at you with your with your old fashioned melee weapon,
hammer, yeah,
and laugh. Morel will call from the top of the stairs. She has a bit of a sixth sense for this kind of stuff, and she says, sort of half-heartedly, "Now, gentlemen, best take this outside." But then just goes back up. She doesn't care. There's a fantastic tinkerer literally across the street who can fix any of the furniture if it gets broken, so she's fine. She just doesn't want to get shot.
Fine.
So, what would you all like to do? You have a chance to do some stuff before the lead starts flying.
Do we, in theory, have all of our gear?
You certainly may.
Okay.
I mean, your pony is not here with you.
Sure, but like the things for standard actions.
Yeah.
Having our
I don't see why not.
weapons and shields.
I don't see why not.
Some cities I know don't always let people have their weapons, but I imagine
this is one where
Yeah. I imagine it, yeah.
It's expected. If you don't have a weapon, you're going to get robbed.
Okay, cool.
So let me know if you have been refusing to wear a weapon this entire time, because I'm going to have to deduct a significant portion of your gold because you've been shaken down for it.
I love that.
Min's gonna hop over the counter and draw her musket. It looks like stuff is happening, and you better be armed, because they just said get rid of outsiders. I've been in town like a few weeks at this point.
Yeah,
but still, I was trying to look for a miner to help me go to that other mine, and if all the miners are going to fight outsiders, I don't know how well that's going to work.
It's true. So are you attempting to achieve any effect with your action other than just drawing your musket?
Drawing a musket, getting behind cover. That's pretty much it. Like, I don't know if I should be shooting anybody, but they have guns, so I have a gun. So logically, yeah, I should also have the gun out. Cool.
I will say that entering into the combat and raising your weapon at the miners escalates it a bit. So some of the miners who were standing around, like, kind of going, yeah, this one's gonna kill another outsider. It's fine. Kind of go, someone's packing. So several of the other tables of miners stand up and reach for. They don't all have firearms. A lot of them just have, clubs and daggers and stuff like that, because firearms are still relatively expensive. But two of the ones that are the one that's partially dwarf, very short, and one of the guys next to him do have what look to be pistols. One of which is a revolver, and one of which is a single shot. The rest are armed with melee weapons. So Min dives around a corner and pulls out a musket. Clover, what are you doing?
If I may, I'd like to pull my rope out and try to make a deception check and being like, all right, thank you. Thanks, fellas. Been trying to hunt this one down for quite a while. I wanted to make sure it was actually her, and now we got proof that she was stealing. And I kind of just get the rope ready to take her away in binds.
Okay. Go ahead and make a deception check.
Cool. And I'm sorry, Carbon, what are your pronouns?
Carbon is he, him.
Thank you. 19 plus my deception is 3, so 22.
All right. They look a little confused and then believe it. and then
And
say,
if they'll let me, yeah.
yeah, and
I'll take
they
carbon
say, well, that must mean there's a reward.
Well, now nobody said nothing about a reward. Now I don't know who this person
Peop-
is coming here.
People don't go hunting down others to places like this for free. So why don't you tell us how much that reward is and how much you're going to give us? Who exactly put out the reward?
And Clover just goes, not much of a reward if you ask me. Just one of those family businesses. Looks over at Carbon and is like,
Wealthy merchant. Got it.
it's like this one was married to my sister, but was engaged to my sister, but stole a heart and ran off and seems to be stealing more than that now.
I do have a habit of doing that. I left a lot of ladies in my wake with broken hearts.
All right. Well, that just sounds terrible, stranger. How about we help you up? It's been a while since we all visited the Hangman's Tree.
Mars is just in the corner, sipping out of a glass of ale that they should have given to a customer. They're trying to decide whether or not they should involve themselves with the little squall happening or if they should let the miners, off Carbon. That way they don't have to pay him back.
Until Carbon wins and comes back to kill you because you didn't help.
There's that. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to say that the shorter miner, and clearly someone who has some seniority or sway with many of the other miners, will kind of give them a signal, and they will, like 4 of them will advance, help Clover tie up Carbon. And then the whole group is going to march Carbon out of Morel's up the kind of north-south branch of the road. And they're it's not far away. I mean, it's maybe 100 yards or 200 yards atop this hill. That, I mean, you've seen it in the distance. Maybe you've checked it out. It clearly is just dust and dirt covering what's the ruin of some sort of building. But it's been ruined for a very long time, and there's a big, stout, dead, creepy tree on the top. And you can even see little bits of rope that have been cut, kind of hanging from it, dangling like short vines, blowing in the breeze as a tumbleweed or two kind of blow past. Everyone kind of puts their hands up to keep the grit out of their eyes, but they keep marching you toward Hangman's Hill. And they're getting pretty boisterous because this is what passes for entertainment in Ditchwater Gulch. What do you do?
Whoa.
At some point, Clover is going to be like, now look, I'm not going to get in with this rather my family's going to have issues, but don't bring this one back alive. But I got some gold here for you that'll make y'all shut up and get me back to what I need to do.
So
I'm fixing to throw a fit up in here. That was from Mora.
Okay. So, you're trying to bribe them, basically.
Yeah, but also like a continuation of the initial deception.
Yeah, I mean, but are you really going to give them gold, or are you lying?
No, I'm going to give.
Okay,
I'm going to give them gold.
Then it's persuasion.
Yeah. Okay.
They are actually to reference the fact that they are now very excited about doing a hanging. I'm going to say that's with disadvantage because their blood's up, getting excited. They also figure they can hang you and take your gold.
I was going to say I had a 1, which means I get to re-roll it, but I still had a 4, so the 4 plus whatever ain't going to be that much higher because it's still disadvantage. So 4 plus 1. I got a whole 5.
Yeah. I think the dwarf will just laugh and say, "You said there wasn't much reward, so what matters if they come back alive or dead? You ain't trying to. You aren't trying
This
to.
is what he gets. But
You aren't trying to deprive us of our fun now, are you? Tell you what.
How many are there?
We'll sell. Well, at this point there are 6.
Yeah, no. So I don't have a death wish. Continue.
Yeah. They're just like, tell you what, after we're done, we'll let you pay us for the body. So you can take it back. So you can take it back to your sister and prove that you've done your family proud. How's that?
Clover's gonna just kind of spit at the boot and walk off.
Okay. so
Thanks.
So Carbon gets hanged. Sorry.
No,
What happens next?
No, Clover's looking for the other person that seemed to take action in the bar, which was Min.
Yeah,
Right?
I'd probably be following back. Would I think that the sheriff would stop anything like this, or is this just sort of like he only deals with it if like people voluntarily complain at him?
It is very unlikely that he would leave his shop and get involved because he's afraid of getting shot himself.
Yeah. So I guess
He's a very popular sheriff because he does nothing.
That's fair. So with that being said, I probably, when they all left the bar, because no one shot anybody and that didn't seem like a time to shoot anybody, I'd probably be following behind because, you know, something's going to happen at the hanging tree, I guess. So Clover can find me easily, I guess, because I'm trailing behind.
So cool. What is anyone else doing?
I'd like to team up with Clover. Yeah, continue.
Okay.
Mars is gonna follow the swarm of miners out, just like hanging back, trying not to be suspicious, whatnot.
Oh, did they leave the warhammer or the weapon that Carbon had? Because I'd grab that.
They did, in fact. So you can grab the warhammer.
I'll just grab that guy.
Please and thank.
So
free stuff. Neat.
you are halfway to Hangman's Hill. There's the ground here. There's a little bit of a depression. The Ditchwater itself is quite meandering, and from season to season, especially in the rainy season, it has a tendency to cut new channels. The Ditchwater itself, the city, the town, is built on a little bit of a rise, so the buildings there are somewhat protected, but you are having to kind of cross or stumble over some areas that are old, dry gullies, basically. And then, of course, the ground will rise again once you approach the hill, but you're now halfway there. What happens?
Well, I think that's about as far as Carbon wants to go. Carbon would like to shift into his bear form to break out of the bonds and
All right.
probably kill some people.
All right. So let's go ahead. I will say that happens. And then what kind of action is it for you to shift?
Bonus action.
Bonus action. So I will say I will give you a round. So a bonus action, move, action before initiative starts. However, I do want to get people's initiative, which I would love to write down on a piece of paper, which I will in 1 second, because everything else is taken care of. Be right back. Go ahead and roll.
All right.
And I'll record them when I get back.
My musket gives me... Oh, go ahead.
I always get super high initiative rolls and then roll garbage on like everything
Obviously.
else.
My musket gives me advantage on initiative.
Oh, nice.
Also, for the future, just so you know, if you're within 30 feet of me, you cannot be surprised because it knows of when danger happens.
Oh, cool.
I was going to say, Min, if we
Okay.
were able to say any words before
Mhm.
this happened, I'd be like, if you're gonna help, I'll go this way, you go that way. It's all like I got out if I got out
Okay.
anything.
Yeah, talking is a free
Yeah.
kind of thing. I mean, you can see it going down.
Yeah.
All
Now,
right.
I definitely just told you that I had cool advantage on my initiative, but I rolled a 2 and a 3. So I definitely have a 3 on my initiative.
You
All
have
right.
+0?
Yeah, I don't have any decks.
What did Mars get?
18.
Ooh. How about Carbon?
19.
And Clover?
8. Stops complaining, we go the highest anyways.
Yeah.
Just put our little list of boons and banes there.
Oh, good.
In case anyone. And how does that work in D&D?
Minor boons could be things like, add 1 to your roll, or maybe it's like add a D4 to a roll. Major boons are pretty much reroll.
Okay.
But there are additional options, like if you want to use a minor or major boon for healing, you can certainly do that. Yeah. As usual, we can make it somewhat flexible. He is at +3. What is your initiative modifier, Mars? Initiative bonus.
It's +3.
What is your dexterity?
+3.
Cool.
Or the bonus is +3.
Okay. Cool. All right. So Carbon first shifts. This is before we enter initiative. You shift. What does that look like?
So he will kind of just like stop moving, and then gradually the wrists will get bigger until the rope snaps, and then he will hunch over, get down on all fours, and take on a more bear-like appearance.
I see. That works. That is your bonus action. What is your actual action?
Don't have my warhammer, so gonna just unarmed strike the one that's closest to me.
Okay. Roll to hit.
Oh, that's a daddy 20. Lovely.
Wow. That's good. How much damage does that do? 2?
It's 4 bludgeoning for the base damage.
Okay. So you just and so it's a claw. Are you literally punching, or are you clawing someone?
Literally punching.
Okay. So powerful punch at one of the miners that is holding on to your rope. I'm gonna say you do it. It's like a two-handed kind of thing, since your arms are sort of bound.
Yeah.
Because and I'm gonna say you are still bound since you used your action to attack.
Okay.
So that was your free. Now, good news is, you go first.
Perfect. I would like to bite the rope off my wrists.
Yeah, go ahead and make a athletics check. Or are you trying to attack the rope and do enough damage to sever it? It's your choice.
I think I'm just trying to get out of the rope. I don't really care about destroying it.
Yeah, so narratively you're using your now much longer teeth.
I know.
Yeah, so go ahead and give me an athletics, or acrobatics is viable too.
13.
Okay. That is enough because they aren't trying super duper hard. It's literally just rope kind of, they've got you surrounded. They didn't take a lot of time to really, really truss you up. So yeah, you just grab it with your teeth and pull your now kind of claw-like hands out. So that was your standard action. You have a bonus action and a move now. To set the scene, there are 4 of these miners that were kind of leading Carbon up toward the hill with the group. The remaining miners, the short one, the taller one that also has a gun, and the remaining, I guess just one more. Is that right? Yeah, just one more. A regular kind of miner is back with the rest of you, kind of walking in a group. So you are surrounded by 4 of these miners.
Cool. I think Carbon will be like, well, tried to do this nicely, but now y'all done made me angry, and Carbon is gonna enter a rage.
Awesome. Does anything unusual happen when you rage?
Well, when I start my rage, I gain a 10-foot aura effect that causes all other creatures in my aura to take 2 fire damage each.
All right. So you rage and then just roar at these people, and they literally, you can see almost as if the inside of this now bestial creature is full of some sort of unspeakable fire. There's a heat haze that fills the area, and you see the clothing of these 4 miners begin to smolder and a few little puffs of smoke that they have to mash out. You see their hair kind of begin to singe at the edges, and you all smell, as the wind blows back towards you, you all smell the smell of burning cloth and hair. It's not great. But
Does it smell worse than the rest of the town, though?
it smells like sweaty, unwashed miner being cooked. So yeah, it's worse. And they immediately begin to curse and slap out the fires and draw weapons. But you can tell their eyes are, you can see whites all the way around. They're very, very concerned by what just happened. A couple of them, it's a demon or something. Cool. That was their go. Mars, what do you do? Or that was Carbon's go. What does Mars do?
Can Mars attempt to sneak attack one of the miners?
You could attack one of the ones that's adjacent to one of your allies, which where you are is going to be any of them. You have 3 targets that are in your immediate vicinity: the short miner, the tall miner, and then the regular guy.
Small, medium, or large?
The tall guy is still kind of medium, but you can just tell that by the quality of his clothing, he's probably a little bit like he maybe is not just a regular mine worker. And the dwarf seems to have an air of authority about him that makes you think that maybe he's something more than just an employee. Or maybe people just like him because he's very experienced. So yeah, you can pick your target, and if you hit, because you have an ally adjacent, or one of their enemies adjacent to them, that would count as a sneak attack.
So Mars would attack the tall one.
Okay.
Or
That does not hit.
You rolled sneak attack damage, not to hit, and
Oh,
Yeah. Roll the plus whatever to hit.
okay. There's the 2 dashes.
so whatever weapon you're using, there should be like a big plus number next to it. Like mine has like a +3 or a +5. You want to click that one if you're rolling a D&D Beyond,
Okay.
not the one next to it, because that's your damage.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you're attacking with your rapier, let's say, or dagger, click the +5 next to that. And that will roll a d20 and add 5.
Okay. Mars will use the dagger.
Okay.
I didn't forget their name. It's fine. It's a 7.
Okay. So it misses. Just everyone's kind of reacting to all this. And the big one immediately starts moving forward to try to control the situation with Carbon. And so you just kind of catch the back of his clothes and don't pierce into his flesh. However, it is now quite obvious that you have attempted to attack one of the miners. And their somewhat dwarfish leader will say, "They're all in it together. Take them all down." All right. You do have a bonus action and movement, though.
So that means Mars can move away.
Yes, you can. I'm going to say that the more mookish miner does have a scimitar in hand. Double check, make sure that's scimitar. Yeah, scimitar. Which means that he could attempt to attack you if you step back. The dwarf does not have anything in his hands other than, I mean, he's got his revolver on his hip, but he doesn't have a melee weapon. And the other guy is out of reach of you.
I think Mars will stay where they are.
Okay. So no move, and your bonus action. I mean, you're not really in a position, I think, to hide at this point as a bonus action, given that there's no cover. Cool. All right. Next up, we have the dwarfish-looking fellow. The dwarfish-looking fellow is going to try to, I mean, he doesn't know what you guys are. I think he is going to first try to shoot Carbon.
Uh-oh.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's 11 points of damage. But you are raging.
Yes.
So that means you will take 5. And then sure, he has mortally wounded this demon from hell. Is going to turn around and point blank fire at Mars for trying to gank him and his friends. That is an 18 plus 5, so 23, which I believe will hit. For 2 points of damage. It's just a glancing blow to Mars. Then he is going to not want to be in this huddle with you guys. So he is going to hustle away 30 feet so he can cover the entire area. Anyone who has a melee weapon in hand can attempt to strike at him, which means, I think, basically Mars.
Unless I have horns.
Sure.
Let me just lean over and give him a little stab, I guess.
Yep.
In the behind.
Clover, do you have a melee weapon in hand?
I'm having a hard time picturing how close I am. So I was.
There's two groups. There's the four miners and Carbon up maybe like 5 paces ahead, and then the rest of you guys are kind of in a lump.
Okay. Yeah. If there's people nearby, I'll pull out my melee weapon.
But you don't currently have it in hand.
It would be what I would have pulled out. Whatever weapon would have been safest to use to protect myself. So if I felt like there was people nearby, I would have pulled out my melee weapon if there was danger nearby. So were there miners near me when I got back to men?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah.
So what?
I can say I'm still pulling it out. That's fine by me. So on my turn, it's out. But
Yeah, because I think that you probably would have read that they would look at you funny if you try to draw a weapon.
Yeah. So I'll use it like I'm pulling it out before my turn.
Yeah. Cool. So Mars and Min both get attacks of opportunity against this guy.
I got a 21.
Cool. And what did Mars get?
25.
Ooh, that's a natty 20.
It's a natural 20. Wow. All right. So that means that you both hit. Mars, you may do sneak attack damage because because Min is adjacent to him.
Yeah, I did 8 points of damage.
Cool.
4 for sneak attack.
Roll it again because you'll do it twice because it's a crit.
That's 6.
So that's a total of 10 for sneak attack. And then how much for your base damage for your dagger? It's basically 2d4 plus whatever your bonus is.
So I roll it?
Yep, roll it once.
Okay. That's a 4.
Okay. And then roll it again, but we're not going to add the 3 to it because that only counts once. Just roll that damage again, and then we'll subtract 3.
The 2.
Okay. Cool. So a fair amount so he takes a healthy gore and stab as he steps away. This guy is stout though. I mean, he just keeps jogging back and then like looks down and pulls his hand out, looks at his blood and kind of spits in your direction, but he looks like he has a lot of fight left in him. Cool. That is the end of his turn. The other guy with the gun back by you guys is going to move back also to get some range. He probably only goes about 15 feet. And he is going to attempt to shoot. He's following his boss's lead, but he is a little freaked out by whatever's going on with Carbon. Because you haven't fallen over yet, and you just got a really powerful shot. So he is going to attempt to fire at Mars. 15 on the die. Plus 3 is 18. Does an 18 hit you, Mars?
Yes.
All right.
So.
That is going to be 1 point of damage.
So Pete.
Yeah, so it's another little scrape. Oh, wow. Cool. So that is his go. He will obviously reload. All right. And then the other baddies. The regular miner who is next to you guys is going to pull out a scimitar and attempt to kill Mars. That is, however, going to be... Yeah, that's under 10 to hit. So he's really freaked out. The 4 that are up next to Carbon... they would try to grapple you, but you're very, very hot. So I think they are just going to attempt to. Well, actually, let's see. One of them tries to run away. So you can take an attack of opportunity on that one if you'd like.
Yep.
The one that you have done the most damage to is just trying to GTFO.
Yeah, that's a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so another 4 damage.
Ooh. He looks like he stumbles. And like he is badly wounded. He gets it a couple of steps, like you slash him across the back and kind of throws him a couple of steps. He kind of stumbles and down and is now just like crawling away. But he is out of your range and is not going to attack this round. The other 3 are going to attempt to run you through with their scimitars. Ooh. So my low is 16.
Yeah, that'll still hit. I'm at a 15 for AC.
So that's 2 hits and a crit.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Yep. So the 2 regular hits do a total of 9 points of damage. So you take 4. And then the crit does a total of 10 points of damage. So you take 5. The other 2 are just kind of slashing at you, but one of them is obviously a lot smarter and just like goes for the center mass. Pulls it out.
Yeah.
Why won't you die, demon? All right, that is all there goes. It is now Clover's turn.
Cool. Where's the dwarf?
He is 30 feet to your west
I'm gonna
with
have my
his
hand
revolver
on the-
out, pointing it at all you.
I have my hand on my sword, but then I just move it a little bit, seeing the dwarf, and grab my revolver and go ahead and take a shot.
All right, go ahead and make your
I
shot.
don't like that one. Well, I rolled a 3 plus something, but I don't imagine it's gonna hit.
No, it does not hit.
But I will take my action surge.
Okay.
I will do it again. 13.
13 does not hit him.
Yep. Well, that was my turn.
You aim for, kind of just his chest region, because it just looks like he has like heavy workers' clothes, like obviously made out of leather. But you hear a very loud kind of clang when the bullet hits him. Clearly, he has like plates of metal sewn into his leather. It wasn't apparent before. But yeah, he looks like he is significantly more prepared for combat than he would be at first appearance. So yeah, unfortunately. And he goes, you can tell it doesn't feel good to him. It doesn't do any damage. Awesome. Min.
So
You've got,
we still have melee people, right?
you have one miner right up in your grill. You have their leader, the kind of dwarfish, half dwarfish, 30 feet to your west. And then you have his second in command, the tall miner with the gun, who is 15 feet to your east.
Okay. I think I want to take care of the guy who's right next to us before I rush off.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna draw Carbon's Warhammer.
Okay.
Oh, you done got my hammer.
Yeah, I'll just a minute, and then
using
I
it.
will. I'm gonna try to use it to attack the guy. Is there a flank situation in the D&Ds?
There can be, but you cannot flank this guy.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. Because there's a lot of you, yes, I can say you can take a sidestep and get a flank on.
Okay. And that's advantage?
Yep.
Okay.
Since Clover and Mars are right up there with you.
Yeah. And I think my attack bonus should be about the same as yours. Because
It's strength based.
Yeah, we're all beefy.
Yeah, so it is whatever your strength bonus is plus 2. Assuming
Okay.
you are proficient with warhammers.
I am proficient with martial weapons.
Then you are, yes.
Okay. So that is a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that it's a D8 on these guys.
Plus strength, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That will be 10 damage.
Whoo! You ring this guy's bell. You don't just pull out the warhammer and tap him with it. You pull out the warhammer and do a full 360-degree spin, catch him upside of the side of the head. You expect him to go flying, but instead he just sways, and like you can see the little birds circling around his head, tweeting. He is almost down for the count with that one very, very powerful blow. Little trickle of blood running out the nose and the ear, and eyes cross a little bit. Very well done. Carbon. You have 3 right next to you and 1 that's crawling away.
Yeah. Well, would be nice to get my my weapon back there from that cow thing.
Someone's
back there
using
that's
it.
wielding it. Yeah. Hey, what's your name? Can I have my hammer back, please?
I'm using it. I'm using it right now. Sorry.
I got
Just a
all these
minute.
spellers trying to kick my rear end in. Do you think you could maybe
You're
part
doing
with
great.
it?
You're doing great.
You know what? All right, screw it. Where's your leader? And I'll whip out my crossbow and take an aim at the dwarf.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a 22 to hit.
You are making a ranged attack when you are engaged with melee people, so I need you to roll that again. Take the lower.
That'll still be a 16 to hit.
So let me double check. He has the choices. The arrow races out toward him. And he, like, just with the hand holding his gun, just slams it up in just the right time to block or parry the blow. Because why not?
Rude.
Wouldn't work against a gun, but it works against a bow.
We ought to look into getting one of them their fancy things.
Yeah, well, gotta kill these guys.
And then I'll bonus action use my storm aura again to cause 2 fire damage to anyone within 10 feet.
All right. With no save, correct?
No save.
Cool. The 3 that were not as badly wounded now. Doing it again. Cool. Mars.
Mars would like to use the booming blade cantrip
Yes.
on their dagger
Yep.
and attempt to attack the
The one who's right
big
next to you.
stoic guy. Yeah.
Yep. If you hit, you will be able to sneak attack.
So 17 to hit.
17 hits.
And so I do the sneak attack damage.
Yep. Your normal damage plus your sneak attack damage.
Normal damage is a 7.
Cool.
Sneak attack damage is a 4, so it's 11.
All right. You get him very powerfully, and then he is surrounded by this like magical, arcane, vibrating energy, which he has no idea what that is, except that it's magic. Boss, they're using magic. They're all witches. So, you can dash, disengage, hide, etc. as a bonus action if you would like. So like if you don't want to get stabbed by him, you could disengage as a bonus action and move away.
Mars will disengage and move away
Cool.
because Mars does not want to get stabby.
So are you moving toward the north where Carbon is fighting off these other miners, toward the west where the short boss is, toward the east where the kind of second in command guy is, or toward the south back toward town?
Probably close to the short leader guy.
Okay, you can get right up on him if you like, because he, assuming your movement is 30, because he moved 30.
Yeah, speed is 30.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you can get right up next to him.
Okay.
Cool. All right, that means it is his turn. So he is going to pull out a scimitar and attempt to stab you. Which misses, I believe. Yes. Then he is going to, because he can, swing up the gun. Well, no, he can make another attack with a scimitar because this is all his regular attack. So that is going to be a 23 and a 16 for his 2 remaining scimitar attacks. I think the 16 and the 23 hit you, right? Now as the bonus action, he's going to pull up the pistol and fire it point blank range. That, however, is 14, so it does not hit. Cool. You take... Oh, dang. That's a lot of damage, man. You take 15 points of damage.
Okay.
Ooh.
As he, like, misses the first scimitar strike and then just swings low, like very practiced, and slashes at your legs, and then pops up from kind of a crouch position and tries to shoot right in the middle, but you are dodging because you don't want to be point blank shot in the face, and it goes wide. The second in command is going to attempt to shoot. Boss has got this. Shoot the bull. Not kidding.
Bullseye.
Rude.
Yeah, and he will say bullseye. So that's not good, man. Rolling very, very well. 13 points of damage. And then he will move like 10 or 15 feet further back. Actually, he will move 25 feet further back to make sure that he's outside anyone's range. He's not dumb. And then the one guy continues to crawl away. So we've got 3 more that are going to try to stab the crap out of Carbon.
I had my weapon.
2 misses and a hit with a 20. Non-natural. For 2 points of damage. Let me double check that. Yeah, 2 points of damage.
Tickles.
Yeah, so you take 1.
Yeah.
Cool, that's their go. Clover.
How many are near me?
1.
1? Okay. Is the dwarf still standing?
Yeah. The dwarf is over and was just pounding away at Mars.
Is Mars, so is he in melee range or?
Yeah, with Mars, yeah.
Oh, but with Mars is still away
Yeah,
from me.
he's 30 feet from you.
Cool, yeah. 13 plus, I hope this works. 13 plus 4, I think.
13 plus 4 will hit.
17, awesome, yay. All right, and then I get to roll a d10. I'm a d10. 2. 4 plus 2, 6 points of damage.
Ooh. Yep.
on that. See ya.
Pretty powerful hit. You hit him in the thigh. But like I said, he's real tough. Min. There's a guy right next to you. There's a guy who's 35 feet to your east, and the dwarf guy who's 30 feet to your west. And then the crew of people about 15 feet in front of you that are trying to stab Carbon to death.
Okay.
The guy next to you looks like he's capable of acting, but he looks like he's on his last leg.
Yeah, let me try to hit that guy. I think everyone who was flanking has left, so I will just...
Nope. The only person who's left is Mars. So you can step around and get flanking with Clover if you'd like.
Well, then I will do that. That's a 21 to hit again.
No doubt.
All right. And then... Oh, that's the minimum damage at 4.
Still enough.
Yeah.
We'll say you bring the what is it, warhammer? Bring the warhammer around, and he's not dodging on purpose. He's just so unsteady on his feet that he just like leans back, and it goes right past the tip of his nose. And then as a quick reverse, you just pound him with the pommel right between the eyes, and he just kind of stands still, eyes crossed, falls flat back into the dust. He is out.
Well, that's nice.
You have your bonus action and movement if you would like.
Okay. Well, I might as well move over to Carbon and offer a weapon.
Sure.
Just wander that way and be like, all right, I'm done. Thanks.
You said the 3 people that are trying to stab Carbon, you're like, excuse me, pardon me. Just need to make a friendly delivery. Here you go. Yeah.
here's your weapon. Did you want this back?
Yep.
Oh boy, howdy you bitch, my right cheek I do.
Perfect. All right, so that is Min's go. Carbon, what do you do?
Oh, I'm taking my hammer and I'm swinging
Sounds
at
wise.
one of them.
Yep.
Uh, 21 to hit.
Whew,
I'm
yeah.
doing this two-handed. That's 8 damage.
Did you add the +2 for rage?
Oh, 10 damage.
Cool. One of them, you catch him right under the chin, and you hear a click as his jaws clap together, probably breaking some teeth. And you get air with him, like lift him up off his feet, and then he just collapses to the ground right where he was. His friends not so happy. His friends are not so happy about that. Cool. You have a bonus action to move if you would like.
Sorry, man, but gonna reactivate that storm aura.
Cool.
Do another 2 fire damage to anyone in 10 feet.
Ow!
Oh, just sorry. I should have give you some fair warning, but you might want to keep a little ways away from me.
Yeah. This. Sorry for the fire, and then. Whoosh. So take 2,
I'm just
man.
like, yeah. Just my glasses. Like, how do you do that?
I'm just a little bit heated right now.
That's just a pun, not an actual reaction.
Wow. All right, Mars. You are adjacent to the dwarf guy, who really wants you dead now.
Can I use Booming Blade again?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're gonna use it on their dagger and attempt to attack the dwarf guy.
Yep.
The 12 to hit.
Does not hit.
Okay.
You catch his torso, and then you hear the screak as the tip of your dagger glances along whatever metal plates he has sewn into this jerkin. And he just kind of looks up at you and laughs. Get ready. And in fact, it is his turn. So he figures he's just going to wash, rinse, repeat. And you look like a doxy from Morel's place, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should have stayed out of man's business there, honey. I don't think the 15 will hit. Or will it? You tell
Nope.
me. Okay. But the 20 and the 21 will hit.
Yes.
So these are his scimitar attacks. Only 8 damage total. No, that can't be right. 6, 8, 11 damage total. And then we'll try a point blank in your face. 19 on the die for 5 more damage.
What happens when I run out of?
You fall
Hit
unconscious and
points?
begin dying.
Okay.
Saves.
Yep. He slash, 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 boom. And then kind of cinematically kicks your body over into the dust and then whirls around deciding who it is he's going to take out next.
Boy, they owe me money.
Right? That's his go. The taller one is going to... everyone else is kind of up there in the melee, I think, is going to take a shot at Min. But misses terribly. Reloads. And then the one guy crawls away. The 2 who are remaining guarding Carbon, they don't know what's going on. They're very freaked out by constantly being set on fire. So they're going to split their attacks. 1 on Carbon with a 19 on the die will hit for 4 points of damage, means you take 2. And the one against Min, 16 on the die.
I'm going to activate shield as a reaction.
All right.
To give myself additional 5 AC.
What does that bring it to?
19 AC.
21. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong one. 19.
Oh, no. So sad.
Actually, don't do that because, I mean, it's weird and meta.
Yeah.
But I would have had to say 16 on the die, which makes it a 19, and then you would know
okay.
not to spend it.
Got it. Yeah.
Cool. However, you take 2 points of damage. Like you start
it hurts as much as fire.
Like you start to do like arcane tracery with your, I don't know, hooves or whatever you have for hands.
I think they're just hands.
Right. And then that is enough to kind of put it. It's like, what are you doing? And just like, he just kind of sticks you. It's not that bad. Cool. Yeah. And the other guy is crawling away. That's all of there goes Clover. Clover's on mute.
Is anyone within 25 feet of me, enemy-wise?
The group that are fighting Carbon and Min, yes.
Okay.
They're like 50 feet away.
The people by Mars, it's just a single person over there?
It's just the dwarf guy, the half-dwarf. He's 30 feet from you.
Does he seem to be ready to leave, or is he still in the fight?
Oh, he's looking for his next target. He has just taken down Mars, and he's looking for the next person to take down.
Okay, then I will run over to the fray and pull out my melee weapon and start attacking the closest person I can run to within 25 feet.
Okay, so you're running up with Min and Carbon. Going to try to take out the last of the miners up there. All right,
okay,
cool, do it. There's 2 of them left up there.
Is there any advantage with flanking it with that?
You have enough movement that you can get into a flanking position.
Cool. Oh, that's actually a 1, so I get to re-roll that. 16 plus 4?
Yes.
30, 20?
Yes.
I'd also like to mark him.
Okay.
What it says versatile for my long sword. What does that mean?
It means you may use it one-handed or two-handed. So if you're not wielding a sword, you can two-hand it, which means it's a D10 versus a D8 damage base.
Okay. You mean if I'm not wielding a shield?
Yeah, if you're not wielding a shield, you can wield it in 2 hands or one hand with a shield.
I have a shield, so
okay.
1. I rolled an 8 plus 2, so 10 points of damage.
10 points of damage. You knock one of them out. You just skewer him.
Oh, nice.
Bleeds out in the dust. Cool.
And since he's dead, I can't mark him. So yeah, go ahead.
Yep.
It's my turn.
Min. There's now one remaining miner.
Cool. Is it a particular action to draw weapons?
I mean, it's a free object interaction.
Okay. So I'm going to get my light hammer and hand axe out. I'm going to try to bap this guy in the head with the light hammer.
Sure. I mean, technically, it's 2-weapon fighting, and you have to do 2. The action economy should be very simple in 5e. What'd you get?
Okay. Only a 13.
13 hits.
Oh, okay.
These guys are mooks.
6 damage.
6 damage. Well, the good news is they've all been half burnt to death by carbon, and that guy goes down.
Okay.
So now all that you have left is the one badly, badly wounded miner who's crawling over more or less in the direction of Hangman Hill. You have the dwarf who is standing over Mars's bleeding out body. And then you have the smarter guy with a gun off to the east of the group. And they're both roughly, one's 30 feet from where you were, one's 35 feet from where you were.
Okay.
Which means that because triangles, you could probably like run towards either of them. You think you could probably make it to the dwarf.
Okay. So I do have 2-weapon fighting bonus action thing.
Yep.
Could I throw my hand axe?
You could throw it, or you could move and hit, because they don't have to have, because you can move in. You could like move 10 feet, hit someone, move 5 more feet, hit someone else. It's all kind of flexible.
That's true. I'm going to move within 20 feet of him, so I'm within the range increment.
Okay.
And then I'm going to throw it because I keep the returning weapon magic on my hand axe.
Yes. Lovely.
So magic weapons, does that just add a +1 on both of the...
It would tell you in the...
I couldn't figure out how to get my infusion to attach to things.
Is the infusion that it becomes magical, or it becomes magical and gains a +1 bonus?
Let me read my infusions.
Yeah. Because it's possible for there to be weapons that count as magical, but that don't have any bonuses on them.
Yeah.
Case in point, moon touch weapons.
Or monk's fists when they get powerful enough.
Exactly. Think of it as like magical for the purposes of overcoming DR, but without a bonus. Even though there's not really DR in this, there's just damage resistance. Damage. What do they call it?
Immunities.
Its resistance is immunities to particular types of damage, yeah. But there's not like a DR rating like there is in Pathfinder or 3. whatever D&D.
You know, I knew where this was a minute ago.
Features and traits. Specifically class features and traits.
Infuse items.
For those in chat and on YouTube, this is the first time anyone has played these characters. They are all level 3, but they haven't played them. And we are playing some unusual combinations.
Just going to click out here to the attunement area. I'm sure it will tell me the things I took, and I definitely remember.
If it's only +1, you could just roll, and if it's a difference of 1,
that's fine. I'm going to roll.
Then if it is a difference of 1, then you can continue looking.
That was an 18.
18 will hit.
Okay. So I rolled a 6 plus 3, which is my strength. So that is 9 damage.
Cool. And then it blinks back into your hand.
Exactly.
Lovely.
That was bad.
You have successfully drawn his attention there, Min.
Uh-oh.
Carbon.
Carbon is going for the dwarf-ish person, since they, have potentially killed the person that owes Carmen money.
Yep. And you are within range of that person if you wish to move up to them.
Yep. Then I'm double-handed swinging my warhammer.
So just loping forward.
Yeah.
Past men.
Angry.
Sploosh.
24 to hit.
Yeah.
That's not the radius. So 9 damage.
Whew. Now he is starting to look concerned. Because before they had the odds on you, and he was doing fine, and now you have knocked out a bunch of his guys, and he is not doing as well as he was.
Oh, sorry, that should be 11 damage. I forgot to add the 2 for the strength.
Okay. Cool.
And now he's dead.
No. And he still has some fight in him, but he doesn't want to repeat. He's like, "Ew, this is not what I had in mind." Especially wasn't expecting Beowulf or whatever you are. Cool. So Mars, I would like you to make a death saving throw. That is just roll a d20.
D20.
You're looking for 10 or higher. Hopefully not a 1.
It's a 3.
Okay, that's a fail.
Yep.
As Mars blood slowly seeping into the dust. Dwarf guy, he was going to do something nasty to Min, but now has a much more pressing concern. Oh, you had a bonus action that you did not use. Would you like to have caught him on fire?
Yeah.
Okay. And he will say, "Damn your soul to hell, demon." And will attempt to slice you a lot. That is going to be a 19, an 18, and a 16.
Those will all hit.
Cool. For... So you take 11 total damage.
Yeah, Carmen's looking a little bloody.
Probably so.
Yeah.
The other one is going to... I mean, you're threatening the boss. He is going to run forward. And he's not thinking straight, thinking that he's now getting himself within closing the distance range to basically everyone. He will run forward and try to line up a shot straight into your back, Carmen. But that is only a 12.
Nope.
So it whizzes past your shoulder. All right. And the other guy continues to crawl away. Help! Clover.
I don't think anyone's in 25 feet of me, are they, at this point? They've all run further than I can.
You have 25 feet of movement?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, no. You can get to the second in command guy because he came forward. He put himself, he's probably 15 feet from you now.
Then I will go towards that person.
Yes.
Is there anyone nearby him? No flanking, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. Just a D20, 3 plus 4. No.
Okay. But at least you're like in the way. It's going to make it hard for him to shoot someone else.
And actually, am I able to mark him if I don't hit him? I have to hit. Never mind.
Cool. Min.
All right. Well,
You're within hatchet throwing distance of the dwarf.
that is true. Does he look like he's close to getting down?
I mean, he looks like he has taken some really substantial hits. He can take a few more, but you guys have beaten him very badly so far.
Okay.
And he's bleeding.
Okay. I'm just wondering whether I should, maybe heal Mars. because that might be nice that if you didn't die, and hopefully Carbon can keep him distracted while I do that. So I think I'll just wander over towards Mars and say, all right, upsy daisy.
Yeah, because a natural 1 on the next death save would be permadeath.
Yeah, we'll just let's see, what's my spell casting majigger?
Intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay. So Mars heals 8 points of damage.
Ooh.
So I think you just go to 8. That's how this works.
You are prone
right?
and you have 8 hit points.
Yeah.
So you wake up and you see the soft velvety muzzle of Min's cow face. There. It'll all be okay. Just a wash of like hay breath, which is actually kind of nice. Bringing you back to consciousness. All right, cool. Well done. That was Min. So Carbon. Big boss is right in front of you.
Yeah.
He looks very excited to try again.
Oh, I'm sure, and I'm real excited to hit him again because you hit my quarry. They owe me money. 20 to hit.
Yeah.
And two-handed. So that's 9 total.
Ooh.
And fire.
Yeah. So 2 more.
Yep.
He's looking like he can't take another one of those. All right. Mars, you are prone on the ground, very nearby. It takes half of your movement to stand up. You can use the remaining half if you would like to sneak up behind the big guy and try to stab him, or disengage and run away. Your choice.
I think Mars will attempt to sneak up behind the big guy and stab him.
Cool. So I'll say you move into flank. Which means you roll with advantage on your attack. And I believe we have a number of boons and banes and stuff.
Should be a 9.
With
So
advantage?
Advantage
again.
will roll it 2 times and take the better result.
Yeah.
Still a 9.
Oh, no.
That's the exact same roll. Oh, no.
Oh, no. I told you to stay out of my business, Doxy. All right. Or wench. Maybe he says wench this time. All right. That's Mars's go. Now it's his turn. I think he doesn't like either of you. So he will, without leaving either of your threatened spaces, step so he's not standing in flank anymore. He is going to... Yes. / shoot. So we've got 2 slashes going at Mars.
Is Mars within 5 feet of me?
No.
Okay.
But I rolled a 7 and a 2. And I know that Mars's AC is above 13. And then we've got a slice and a shot going at Carbon. Let me roll a different die for the shot so I know which was which. The slice is a natural 1. The shot is a 15.
Yeah, my AC is 15.
All right. So he just flails around, like maybe he's getting desperate. He flails around with his scimitar, failing to land a blow. He does catch a very good shot against Carbon for 9, so 4.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, still standing.
Cool. And the second in command is going to try to shoot Clover. Why not? for 15.
Nope.
Okay.
18's my armor.
Just dodge it. Cool. Clover, what do you do?
Is anyone still in range of melee of me?
Uh,
Still alive.
yes.
The second in command. Okay.
Yes.
Then I will take another swipe with my longsword. 15 plus 4, 19.
Yes, that hits.
And I still have my shield, so D8. 7 plus 2, 9 points.
Cool.
Is he alive?
You catch him in the gut, and he just bends over, and he's not unconscious, but he's just rolling on the ground, basically incapacitated.
Can I mark him?
I'm dying. Cool.
Can I mark him?
Yeah.
Cool.
Men.
Unwavering mark.
All right. Well, Mars is there. I'll join the melee.
Cool.
I can get a flank on somebody, right?
Yeah. If you stand next to Mars, you'd be flanking with Carbon.
Okay. I'll do so, and I'll attack with the hand axe. And that's a dirty 20
Yeah.
on that one for 10 points of damage.
All right.
And then
You catch him in the clavicle, and it just starts spurting blood. He is almost down. He's starting, like, his color is all draining from his face. He's got a sheen of sweat. He looks very, very desperate.
bonus action, attack with light hammer.
Sure.
Oh, I've got a little off center there, so that's only a 10 to hit. That won't hit.
Yeah. Nope. He just bats it away. Carbon.
Right. So he's very close to dead, right?
He doesn't look good.
All right, cool. Yeah, Carbon is taking the Warhammer and lifting it up, and he'll be like, if I'm going to hell, I'm taking you with me. It's gonna swing to hit.
Yep.
Natty 20!
Ooh, this is not his day.
No, it is not. And that's 2. Well, so that's 4 for the first. And then plus another 7. So sorry, 6 for the first, and then 7. So 13.
13 points of damage, and I assume that you're... Well, you probably are not blasting people. Well, you tell me, are you blasting fire?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It just like right on top of the head, and then you hear a crunch, and his head sinks down into like at a little bit of an angle into his torso. He is dead, like super duper dead.
Oh yeah.
All right. That was your action. You have a movement bonus. There is one guy standing.
Yeah. I'm gonna head over to that guy. And then bonus action fire.
Okay. Cool. And there's the guy who's crawling away. Forgot about him.
And it's fine. We can go
Mars.
stop beside him later.
I think Mars is Mars near the last guy.
Yeah, Carbon just left where you were and ran over to the last guy, 15 feet away.
Can Mars attempt to shoot the guy with their short bow?
Sure, no problem. Not your gun.
Would that be the same dice thingies?
It's just more damage.
Whatever.
I thought I had that enabled. I'll double check.
Like, I'll say next to the +2 or +3, how much dice damage will do. And you want the the D to be dice to be the larger of the two. If you have options.
I also may have added the bullets and not the actual thing, which is fine. Yeah, but it's this. It's the same roll to attack.
The 10.
10 is a hit. Cool. It is the dwarf turn. He's dead. The one guy crawling away crawls away further. The second in command just drops the sword. Hey now. We ain't all gotta go crazy. We can just have a nice conversation. So he drops his gun, steps back with his hands raised. What do you do? It is technically Clover's turn.
Was this person at the table?
No,
With
he
us?
was not at the table.
Okay.
He was at another table.
Okay. Then I don't have like a blood feud with this one then. So
We'll
I
say the
try
one
to
that's
do-
crawling away is the one who was trying to cheat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with the cheater. It was the dwarf I didn't like. Can I try to just do a non-lethal blow?
You can, as long as you are attacking with a melee weapon, you can just attack him
Yeah.
as normal and then declare that you're pulling the blow.
That's what I'll... Oh, actually, that was a 1. And I'm a halfling.
Yep.
17 plus 4.
That will hit him.
21.
That will hit him.
All right. So that is a D10 plus... No, D8, because I don't have two hands. 2 plus 2, 4.
Cool. It doesn't actually take him out.
Okay. I just hit him really hard, and I just say, I don't say anything clever.
Okay.
I just say, yeah.
He's like, I surrender. And he's like, yeah, and then stab him. Cool. Min.
I thought it looks like he's surrendering. We could talk, and I'm not going to do anything except offer that.
Make a persuasion with disadvantage because your ally just stabbed him after he offered truce.
Yeah, that's a 3.
Yeah, he's convinced that you're just trying to kill him. Carbon.
Yeah, because I am trying to kill him.
Yeah, I thought that would happen.
Yeah, I don't deal with varmints that, try to string me up from a tree. So,
We was just trying to have a good time. No hard
yeah,
feelings.
Because of my livelihood, there's plenty of hard feelings here, buddy, as you're about to see. Swing the war.
Kelly just thought of something clever. Can I say Clover said it?
Sure.
You're the entertainment now, buddy.
Dance.
It's an 18 to hit.
Yeah.
And that is 9 damage.
Yes, now he's unconscious and bleeding out. So you just crack him, like maybe in the torso. It knocks all the breath out of him. He flies backward, tumbles a little bit, probably right into a cactus, and then just and starts bleeding out everywhere.
Or we could not talk. I guess that's fine. Are we talking to that guy? I say, pointing at the one crawling away.
And you can see him. He's looked out over his shoulder, and he's like gradually trying to crawl faster. No,
Are they?
no.
Can Clover try to not let the guy we just were hitting die?
You can make a medicine check.
Yeah, cool.
Why are you trying to save him? They're gonna go rat us out to the law. We just killed all their friends.
I mean, you're within sight of the entire town,
yeah, that's true.
and there was
Turbin's not
gunfire. So
necessarily-
there are people who are watching this as we speak.
17 plus medicine, 1. So 18.
Oh, you stabilize him.
Cool.
He is stable at 0 hit points.
Then I spit at him again because I'm so
1 point of
pissed.
damage. He goes back to dying. That's
He's
fine.
dead.
And he dies. No, it's fine. Cool. All that's left is the guy who's crawling away. The cheater.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done my fair share of cheating. Didn't really expect this to explode quite this way, but pretty sure they would have been trying to get him too. Maybe.
I'll do anything. I'll give you anything. Don't kill me. Don't kill me.
How much you got on you?
All right, so he's kind of doing the crab walk backward now as Carbon advances. Are you still all like bared out?
Yeah, still bared out. Yeah,
Because you know with a bonus action you could kill him with fire.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
He'll pull the hand that's been holding onto his wound off, and there's a sound as the sticky blood, and then he'll fumble around and pull a pouch and toss it at you.
catch it. Look inside. How much is?
It's not gold. And it's not silver. There are 4, like, at first you think it's black, kind of tetrahedral crystals. But as you hold it in your hand up to the light, and maybe you even take one out and hold it up, it's actually a very, very deep purple color.
I'm interested.
They feel very, very cold to the touch.
All right. Put the one that I was inspecting back into the pouch and close it up. Add it to my belt.
Wait. I insert myself into the conversation. What's that?
You recognize exactly what that is, Min.
Okay.
Well, it's mine now.
Where'd you? I addressed the guy who's crawling. Where'd you get that?
In the pit.
What pit? Can you take us there? I'll heal you.
Oh, well, sure.
Yeah, I'll heal you, and you can take us to the pit.
Yeah, anything you want, anything you say, boss.
All right. I'll heal him with a healing spell because I told him I would.
Sure.
This bear will probably beat him up if he does anything.
Yeah,
That
trying
is
things.
That's 7 hit points.
Oh, he feels a lot better.
I bet.
I mean, he's still not quite healed, but well, thank you kindly. It's the big pit just north of town, up by past the ruins.
Up past the ruins. Yeah, the pit. All right. Do you know where in the pit did you get those?
There's a lot of them just lying around.
Just lying around, huh? Interesting. Take some notes.
But it ain't safe to go in there. This fella come in town a couple days ago. Talk to my friends who you have now killed.
Sorry.
Told us we could make a bunch of money if we was brave enough to go down in the pit. I try to tell him it's haunted. All them people died in that old town. All their spirits are down there somewhere. I mean, I didn't see any ghosts or nothing, but they're definitely, it's not a good place to be. So we went down there the other day and just grabbed what we could in our pockets. We're supposed to hand the crystals over to this guy tomorrow night, right at midnight.
Where's that handoff happening at?
We're supposed to meet up by that old bridge, that ruined bridge that crosses the Ditchwater up north of town, kind of up by the ruins. We're supposed to meet him up there. That guy ain't right, I'm telling you. I met him once, and I never want to see him again. He gave me the creeps. But he was offering us a powerful amount of gold if we could if we could find him some of these crystals.
A lot of gold, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much it was. I didn't make the agreement. It was just a way to make some money.
Did all your friends have these?
I know the boss did. I think Stretch over there did. I was supposed to hand over any of my found, and I did hand over most of them, but there are these. Just I accidentally left these others in my pouch.
It's like you accidentally tried to cheat by showing 6 aces in a 5-card game.
Well, you was cheating too.
Because I knew you were gonna be cheating.
Yeah, well, I was better at cheating than you were.
Barely.
Look, I just need the money to get out of this place. I've been here a year. I can't last no longer. I mean,
I've already wandered over to look for more of these guys in the other guys' pockets.
Yeah. You may think this is a nice town to be in, but I'm telling you, it'll wear you out, wear you down. Mining's no work for a normal, sane person, especially not up in these hills.
Do I look sane to you?
I don't know what you are, friend. You look like you belong in this cursed place, frankly. I mean, no offense. Please don't kill me or set me on fire.
No, it's fine. I think at this point, Carbon chills out and shifts back. Yeah, no longer quite so, large and intimidating.
Yeah, creepy.
Like, well, you might not be getting out of here anytime soon there, pal, but at least you got away with your life, unlike your friends over there. Cause us any more problems, though, you know what's gonna happen to you, right?
Yeah. So can I? So are you gonna let me leave?
I think we're gonna need you for the handoff tomorrow.
That guy, you can take care of it. He doesn't know me from anybody. You don't need me.
What's your boss's name?
Drogon.
All right, he's the one that was meeting with that fella, right?
Yeah.
All right, good to know. I think that's all the information we'll be needing, unless you got something. What was your name again? The bull one.
What? Oh, I'm Min.
Yeah, do you need anything from this rapscallion that we got on the ground over here?
I think you told us where to find the stuff. Nah.
All right, get on out of here.
All right, he'll just pick up his hat, cram it on his head, and just full on run, just out into the desert. He doesn't care. He just wants to get away. He'll stumble a couple of times, kicking up a bunch of dust, and then he cuts around Hangman's Hill and then keeps heading on north. So perhaps to never be seen again or to come back. Maybe he was the big bad all along. Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
So there is a crowd that has gathered. They haven't approached this fracas, but as soon as they see that it's over, most of them just spit in the dirt and go back to their business.
Well, at least it was a bit of a show. Carton's gonna go over to Mars and be like, "You're all right, right? You doing okay?"
I'm alive, aren't I?
Well, now thought you was dead for a minute there. I was about to be
You're
real
welcome.
disappointed.
Thank you.
All right, well, I could use a drink. Carbon's gonna put on this alchemy jug and say beer, and then uncork it and start chugging.
Sure. The everlasting flagon. Do you pass it around?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I think you create a couple of gallons or something. It's a lot.
It's 4 gallons of beer.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, yeah. He's feeling much more chipper now after killing the person that tried to hang him. Here, you guys want to fancy a drink? It's on me. It's in this. You got to drink out of this though.
Clover takes it, and I'm sure it's like oversized as it is. So like Clover tries their best to make it look like they're drinking from it, but it probably is pretty obvious that they actually don't take a sip. They just
Oh, here, let me help you with that. You don't look like you're tilting it back far enough. I'll smack the bottom of it.
I just want to see if I don't like just roll. Yeah, no, I'm gonna say she's able to just close her throat and just let it fall down her like chest and just
Oh, well, now you're wasting perfectly good beer. Oh.
just coughs. Too much, too much.
All right. Since the farrier Stipo recognizes men and has recognizes Clover, and probably also is aware of men, just because you can repair stuff too, will come over ostensibly to check on Clover, his right, because Clover is check on Clover, his resident, his rentee or whatever it is. That was pretty impressive there, friends.
Could have been better if I didn't accidentally bound that one in ropes.
Yeah, I was kind of confused by what was going on. I decided to keep my nose out of it, but y'all did pretty good. Now, the question is, who's gonna mine now? I mean, y'all basically killed half the miners. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't deserve it. They cause a powerful ruckus here in town, but
do we have any southern necromancers in town?
Look, I hope not.
I sure hope we don't.
Be nice to have a free mining force, but
I mean, I don't think I would call that nice. But we might. It's hard enough to get people to come in town and work as it is, and now I'm afraid if the folks from the outlying settlements hear that miners come to town and half of them get killed, they won't want to come in town and work.
I don't think many people want to come into town if having a bar fight means being hanged before there's even a sheriff to come in by and see what's going on.
Sheriff Hot ain't worth nothing. You know that.
Apparently this town ain't worth nothing. You know that.
Yeah, but it's what we got. And it'd go away if the mine goes away. Don't you think? I mean, I guess we still got that muddy water, but I'm just saying, you might want to think about cause
the good thing is called Ditchwater Gulch and not Mine Gulch.
Well, I guess. Just
I'm sure y'all will figure something out. It'll be fine. You'll see. Work out nice and pretty for you.
All right, I guess. I guess if new people come in town looking for work, I can always make a little scratch short, shoeing their horses for them or something. So I guess it's not all bad if we have some fresh blood in town. Just try not to kill a lot more people.
No, of course not. Assuming they don't try to kill me first.
I mean, yeah, just, I mean, if someone slights you, I mean, no one's going to blame you for seeking justice. Just maybe don't kill all their friends and relatives too.
I'll keep that in mind.
I mean, most of us are first cousins at the furthest. So, pretty soon this town's going to be completely empty if you keep going on as you are. Just saying.
That explains the intelligence level here.
Well, ain't much else going on out here in the Badlands, but I mean, anyway, I just thought I'd say that was real good work, and maybe don't do it every day. All right. Oh, well, supper's going to be about sundown. Clover.
And Clover takes a look at the group and is like, I think I'll be eating at whatever place might be food, whatever.
I mean, you can buy food. You can buy food at the general store, or you can continue to pay to be entertained at Morel's.
I mean, I think Clover might offer to treat everyone to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
You're paying.
That'll be 2 gold.
I'm gonna say I've lost 5 gold just because I was playing poker, right? And I didn't win as well. Or should I make it more than that?
Well, no one claimed the pot. So yeah.
So the gold's just sitting there at the...
I mean,
It's not there
it
anymore.
was. It's not there anymore.
Okay.
I will say that Morel looks real happy when you guys come back. Yeah, as she's slipping a pouch into her voluminous bosom.
Yeah. Carbon.
So 2 gold for the food, and how much for the betting? An additional?
Oh, you're taking rooms here as well?
No, the betting. I apologize.
Betting. Say 5 more.
Okay, so 7 total.
There's total 7. Yeah, it's 5 silver for like basically a pass to go in, and that is inclusive of music and entertainment and stuff like that, but not the specialized entertainment. That is an additional surcharge.
So I assume
Clover
I just. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say Clover spends the night trying to apologize to Carbon for fucking that up. It's kind of what Clover tries to
You want to
mainly do.
apologize, you get me one of them special rooms and I'll feel right as rain in the morning.
Clover looks at that and is like, well, I guess you could try cheating one more time and get yourself some of that gold to get up there.
Well, now that's not exactly you paying me back now, is it?
Clover's just like, you're eating, aren't you? Could be hanging.
Yeah, thanks to somebody bounding me in ropes and sending
Look,
me
I
out
did my
towards the
best. And then
hangman's
Clover
tree.
just like shuts up and just starts shoving food in her mouth like the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
I assume I had gone through all the people that we killed and saw if they had any stuff in their pockets, especially those rocks.
So, the half dwarf short guy, the leader, had 17 silver, 1 platinum, and the silver is a fair amount of the coinage here in the Treaty Lands is old Denarian coinage from before the kingdom was conquered. Just because it's what's around and it's silver and all, they don't worry about conversion rates. The platinum piece is new and clearly minted in the Farron Empire. It has the eye and the hand on each face with little rays of radiance, the symbols of the God King. And it looks like it isn't worn at all.
Who had that?
The dwarf, the leader.
Yeah. So he was probably paid by the guy who came.
Yeah. And I'm going to say across all the rest of the bodies, you find another 10 silver and 14 copper. And a couple of them just had like 1 copper to their name. They had probably it doesn't mean that they might not have more stashed elsewhere, but they had probably spent what they had to enjoy a day's rest at Morel's.
Yeah. Did anyone else have the material that Carbon got?
No.
Okay.
None of them had any. Make an investigation check. You don't immediately see any additional crystals.
That is a
math.
12.
And if you are looking at something close up, you may roll with advantage because of your eyes, because of your lenses.
Well, what would I be looking at close up? The ones that Carbon already had, or
No, it's as you're looking through the pouches and belongings of these people.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you're holding it more than a foot away.
No, I could look closely. It only got 1 better. 13.
With a 13, you are fairly sure that at least the leader, the kind of short one, that he at least, Drogon, had, there's a little kind of almost like mica flakes that have that same kind of shimmery purple sheen, just little bits. Like he probably had some of these crystals in his pouch at some point, but they're not there now.
Well, he must have left them at home or the drop point. I guess we did have some more questions for that guy.
Right? Too bad he's gone. So you have
watching chat give us a bane followed by a boon.
Perfect. You have reconvened in Morel's. You had a little conversation about who owes who what. What happens? What are you doing? What's your plan?
Is it clear? Sorry, please, someone else.
I was just gonna say that I think Mars would have went to their natural appearance of changeling.
Ooh, that's definitely gonna attract some attention.
Okay.
Sort of a gray, featureless, semi-formed humanoid.
It's a ghost.
A ghost.
Yeah, but they're covered up ish.
Oh, so you put up your cloak and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff.
They
So people
just didn't want to be wearing the employee's skin anymore.
Yep. Well, you killed a bunch of miners. You could have taken one of their. but yes,
Actually,
the rest of the party notices that the entertainer who had accompanied you previously and who had helped to defeat the miners shifts appearance and is somewhat secretive, but is grayish of skin, very thin lips.
So you're not Lila? I thought you were Lila.
Oh no, ma'am. Me name's Mars. That's an M, an A, an R. S.
Okay. Huh. Well, nice to meet you.
It seems like you're gonna be that good at disguising. We got tomorrow night pretty much in the bag.
Yeah. So bad news. I didn't find any more. Zero, what are those again? That I know exactly what they are.
A dumbrum.
A dumbrum. Yeah.
Instead of a smart brim, it's a dumb brim.
A dumbrum. Yes.
What'd you just call me?
No, it's the rocks. The rocks. They're a dumbrum.
You're calling me a dumb brum rock?
No.
The rocks in your head we're talking about.
In the pouch that we took from the guy who ran away?
Oh, the one that was nearly pissing himself when he handed him over?
Yes, that's the very one. So in that pouch, there are rocks, and those rocks are dumdrum, and they're very good. They're worth a lot to people outside of the city.
Yeah, how about Min, make a history check for me.
Sure. Oh, 17.
So you know that a dumbrum is the kind of technical studied name. But as you rack especially as the others don't seem to recognize the name, you kind of think back to what the common person in this area might call this material. And depending upon the region, it's either ghost gems or shadow gems. Or shadow crystals, ghost crystals.
Ghost gems? Shadow gems?
So ghost gems or ghost crystals are things that you guys have heard of. Those of you, and you all are proficient with firearms, but you all know that these are inherent to the operation of firearms, as well as they are a vital component in the creation of automatons, like the creatures of war that the Farron Empire used to conquer this part of the continent. You probably don't have any clue as to exactly how they work, but you know that they are quite valuable. Like for your firearms, there's just a little tiny chip in a setting, and then a little bit of a variety of material that has a little bit of powdered gem in it for each of the cartridges of your bullets. And that stuff's pretty darn expensive. You've got, with 4 of those gems, you think you've got enough to outfit, I mean, maybe not a small army, but you've got, like, you don't know how much it's worth in gold, but it's worth a lot with just 4. Certainly in the hundreds of gold, if not more. And this is just what this guy held back.
Well, I reckon we could get some more of this and make a nice, hefty payout with that feller that they were going to meet with.
You know, sounds like they had their own mining problem before we came to town. Seems the miners were taking stuff, and that's a lot more gold than this town seems to have.
I mean, I don't really give a rat's rear end about the town, but I mean, looking at, us, because I think there's an us now, since y'all did kind of come to my rescue. I do appreciate the returning of my hammer. I reckon that the 4 of us could figure something out and make out of here with a small fortune each.
That would be nice. So we can either try to figure out where they stored their haul, or we can go to the pit and get our own set. I don't know if we need to meet with the man or not, but I guess he is a willing buyer. I presume he's with the Empire. I'm going to slide over the platinum piece across the table to show you that it's the Empire fresh mint.
Well, that might put a slight damper on things. The Empire ain't exactly super friendly right now, but, maybe supplying them with this can buy me back into their good side.
Oh, are you...
I mean, you saw what just happened back there. I don't think you need to ask that question.
Yeah. So... I guess it's like, what time of day is it? I think we all got pretty beat up.
It's at the earliest, probably lunchtime.
Okay.
But you can have taken as long, like you could have gotten cleaned up at your various places and met up later.
A short rest.
Sure. Yeah, you probably would have rested up and cleaned up a little bit, repaired some of your rips in your clothing, which men can easily do. So yeah, I'll say that you took it easy after what was a pretty intense battle.
Yes, I do have the mending spell also.
Yeah.
If you need something mended.
I'll say a couple of
Mins.
You do notice a couple of miners as word gets throughout town about what happened. You do see a couple of a crew of like 5 or 6 maybe from the mining camp come over to where you had left their fellow miners and piles of broken bodies. And well, they strip the bodies and are clearly not very happy that a lot of their gear has been, like a lot of their easily portable like coin and stuff has been taken. But they'll take off the armor and all that stuff and then start digging. Without ceremony, it's mostly just not to attract critters.
Clover kind of just looks over at Carbon and it's just like, I mean, can't you help them by, burning all that?
would I help them?
I mean, we did kind of make that mess, even if
I
they
mean,
started
they're the
it.
ones that started it.
Yeah,
I
they
just
did.
finished it.
But maybe we
I mean,
can actually
granted, I was
finish
also
it.
trying to cheat, but I didn't expect them to try to kill me over it. It usually goes over a little bit differently when I get caught.
Usually you're just
I
running out of
mean,
town on a rail.
Yeah.
But this is very frontier justice out here.
Yeah.
All right.
what was I guess they got it.
So, what are your plans?
Is there any like tiny bit of that ghost crystal that Clover can have? Like not a piece, but like dust or something.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Clover would like to show the Farer and be like, "What do you know about this?" See if he knows anything.
He will take a look at that dust. Oh, that looks like ghost crystal. How
Don't
much?
know
How much?
more.
How much of this you got?
I mean, it seems like your miners pulled out a lot of it from that pit back there.
So you tell him,
Or,
okay.
yeah, no.
So you go and find Stipo and tell him
Yeah.
that there's ghost crystal in the pit.
Yeah.
Cool.
Clover's like, "Oh, you guys have a mining problem? Here's your mining solution."
He looks real, like there's ghost crystal in the pit.
Yeah.
How much?
Clover's like, I'm under your roof. I don't care. Clover's like, I don't know, but I mean, I think it's up to the miners to go find out, or whatever miners we have left.
Oh, well, I think it's best to keep this just between us, don't you think?
I mean, you're the one who was worried about money, so now you're not. And then
Yeah.
Clover kind of just gives a knowing nod and is like, I'm gonna go see what I can do about what I know, since seems that's all you know.
Yeah.
All right, honey.
He might know more, but he doesn't share it with you. As you leave his shop, he's just looking off into the distance. Ghost crystals in the pit.
Then I come back in
He's
like, hey,
thinking.
where was that dwarf living?
What dwarf?
That described the person we killed.
Oh,
the dwarf lady.
Drogon was out at the miner camp, just east of town.
Right.
Lived out there with the rest of them.
Oh, yeah, I probably know that.
He's got that little bit of grip between his fingers, and he's looking at it. Ghost crystals. Cool. So, you then now that was a flashback. You are with your fellows in the parlor at Morel's.
And I'll say, it seems that the Farer doesn't know much about it. Now you can all know how mistaken that may have been.
Yeah, when you went back to clean up, you told Stipo that there were, ghost crystals and then our hills.
You told them? Oh man, I was hoping to keep this a secret. I've been waiting to get a good gang together, maybe go out there because I heard a rumor.
I mean, the rumors are there for a reason. Someone's talking. I don't think we killed them all.
You have been around town for a few days, and Mars has explicitly been like listening for and probing for any kind of weirdness for a different reason, but none of you have heard anything about this. And Stipo clearly had not heard anything about it until you told him.
Look, the way I see it is now we got competition. So if we want to get more of these things, we should probably head over to that there pit and get ourselves a good chunk to make a good chunk of money. Mars, you want to pay me back? You're going to go in that pit and get some of these here crystals.
Like,
and Clover did share that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I reckon if you need anything from the Farer, you might want to get it before he, dies in that pit.
Right. Clover did share that Stipo the Farrier had mentioned that Drogon kept his abode out at the mining camp, which is like a 5-minute walk. I mean, you can see it from town. It's not that far.
Yeah, well, and Carbon's been staying there, so
yeah,
wouldn't hurt to swing by anyways. Yeah, let's go.
That'll be the place to check first, right?
We can start there, and then hell, if we get some more from that and out of the pit, oh man, be rich as kings.
So, as you approach the mining camp, a lot of the miners are actually in the mine, and so you see like mining cart being hauled out, and then just dumping silver ore, although it's mostly dross at this point. So a lot of them are working, but a fair amount, given that it's about lunchtime or a little bit after, a fair number of them are kind of milling around, and so a number of folks see you, and kind of the whisper starts. But it looks like no one has a mind to mess with you, given that you've just killed a bunch of them. But at the same time, none of them like runs up to say, "Oh, thanks for killing our boss." So, what do you do?
Mars, you're real sneaky, right? Should go sneaking around in some of the cabins and see what you can find.
Okay.
We'll just wait here.
Yeah, you might be a little obvious there, man. No offense. You're a bit of a sore thumb sticking out.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
Like, if there's nothing definitive to do, can Clover just look around for like a miner who seems slightly in better clothes, slightly better health than the rest? Seems oddly.
Not in a way that's odd, but you do see someone who is maybe younger and cleaner and less careworn, like maybe has joined relatively recently.
Okay.
And
But nothing seeming.
No one's like dressed in finery, but there is a youngish guy who seems a little bit cleaner. Doesn't seem like he's not stooped like so many of the miners are for spending so much time in the deep caves and caverns. And is probably a little bit more curious about you, like maybe doesn't have the sense to like pretend like he doesn't see you.
Man, what do you know about this one over here? You've been in town the longest, I think, right, man? It seems like you've been
probably.
based off what I heard. Yeah.
It's
No.
Yeah. I mean, you
Okay,
could make an insight check if you would like, see what you can just pick up, but it's not someone that you like. Maybe you've seen them in town, but other than that, you don't know anything.
Cool. I rolled a nat 20 on my insight check, which gets me a 19.
Cool. Yeah, this person doesn't have, like, you've never seen them with like a gang of other miners. They seem like they're a little bit on their own. And the only time that you've ever like seen them and noted them, they were actually reading, which is somewhat unusual for the miners. And the feel you get is that this is someone who is new to town, who's from maybe one of the outlying homesteads, and is probably not necessarily well suited to the mining life, but is doing it anyway. Which probably means they don't have a lot of choice in the matter.
Yeah. Well, they seem a little down on their luck. You probably talk to them. I've seen them around town reading.
And Clover will take the opportunity to try and, not have like a secret conversation, just a subtle conversation.
Yeah.
Just what he knows about what Drogon's kind of been doing and what he's learned about the area since he's been here. Because he has a fresh perspective, right?
Yeah, go ahead and give, just as an abstract, I'd like to see how persuasive you are. See how much he wants to open up.
Okay. 18 plus whatever my persuasion would be. +1.
So 19, that was pretty darn good. Maybe because you are small, he doesn't find you particularly threatening. And he's heard the stories, but maybe he hasn't heard like in great detail because it looks like the other miners don't socialize with him too much. His name is Joha. And he'll introduce himself, and give you a little bit of the backstory. He is the third son of a big ranching family, kind of down to the south and west. And there wasn't really, he wasn't really fit for ranching. And it was always kind of his plan to start some sort of business, or maybe go and explore, or if he was lucky, go to the big city, and like educate himself. Cause he'd read every book there was on the ranch by the time he was 12. But his father was not down for that. He wanted him to work as a ranch hand and work his way up in the family business. And he knew he would never be able to lead the business. He would always just be stuck as, a hanger on. So he decided to strike out on his own, came to Ditchwater Gulch to earn some money as a miner, at least enough that he could get out of the treaty lands, head down south, see if he couldn't, find a way to make himself useful in the freeholds with the plan of making enough money that he could pay for an education.
And he doesn't seem to have known about any better way to have made money in this town that we have slightly discovered.
No.
Okay.
He will tell you that Drogon and Stretch and a few of the other miners were always kind of off talking to themselves. He's pretty sure he's not a troublemaker, Joha, but he's pretty observant. He's fairly sure they were skimming off the top of the mine. But there was a little clique of them that seemed like they were always up to something, but he wasn't part of that clique. And neither were most of the other miners. So
yeah. I mean, I guess Clover would try to ask the two things would be, where else would they congregate most? And also if any member of that clique is still technically alive.
No to the latter. I'll ask you some questions about like the descriptions of people that you murdered. It's like, well, it seems like you probably killed all of them. And he said they, sometimes they'd be in Drogon's tent. Sometimes they just, light a fire out in the chaparral away from everyone else when they wanted to talk private. So,
well,
and they did, but they would occasionally leave camp late at night for who knows what. Sometimes to go into town and patronize morels, but sometimes they would come back dirty, like they were digging around somewhere. There's rumors among the miners that there's all kinds of loot up in the ruins up north, just north of town. And then there's that mysterious tower with no entrance that seems to resist the passage of time. So he just assumed that they were out there digging around to see what they could find, and they would come back and not found anything. But it seemed like none of the spooks and hookums got him. So, and this guy's fairly rational. He probably assumes that all that's just fairy tales.
Clover would just say, like, thank you. If anything new reaches your ears, let me know. And Clover gives him two gold.
Wow.
Yeah.
For his scholarship fund. Cool. Yeah. He will.
Clover felt for that.
He will snatch it and then look around, make sure no one's looking, and then and stash it deep, like in his underwear or something like that, to make sure no one can see it.
And Clover's just like, I'll keep an eye out. I'll be expecting to hear at least something else from you, but if nothing, just take care of yourself.
If I pick up on anything, if anything suspicious happens, I'll let you know for sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, so that was one thing that was happening. At the same time, I think Mars was sneaking around.
Yes.
Where are you sneaking around?
Probably in like rooms. Like if there's
just randomly picking a tent.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. Are you going for like a little tent, a big tent?
Could Carbon maybe draw on his knowledge of the miner camp to try to point Mars in the direction of what would probably be the right head?
Yeah.
About a 17.
You think that people, no one's really, I mean, a few people are watching, but you're able to, a lot of them are looking at Min because Min is very distinctive. So you're able to take a moment when no one seems to be looking your way and kind of break line of sight and then sneak around. Previously, Carbon had given you an idea of one of the larger, more well-kept tents is probably the one that belonged to Drogon. Carbon wasn't like hanging out with the miners so much. So it's a combination of like racking your memory and some deduction. So you are able to sneak in. You're going to search around. So why don't you give me an investigate? Well, you can perceive, which is just like scanning your eyes across, looking for anything, or you can investigate like more thoroughly, fine detail, look for any kind of signs or clues. Your choice.
I think Mars would do perception.
All right. Make the roll.
So 13.
There's a cot on a frame. There's a chest that looks like it has like spare boots and like a cloak and a blanket for like if it were for like when it gets chilly. There's a cheap brown glass bottle that's about 3/4 empty that smells very, very strongly of, basically moonshine, paint thinner. There are some partially whittled sticks and a little pile of wood shavings. Looks like this. There's a chair. There's a small table. It looks like and it smells like a miner's cabin. It's just that this tent happens to be a bit larger and nicer than some of the others. But nothing immediately catches your eye as something that is unusual. And you rifle through. You look through the chest and there's nothing of note there. Oh, and there's obviously some mining gear. Pickaxe, shovel. But that's what you see around you.
Can Mars pick or like take the mining gear, then try to sneak away?
Yeah.
Because they may need it if they're gonna mine.
Yeah. You can grab a pick and a shovel.
Cool.
Cool.
They're gonna go back to the group.
All right. So you sneak back with a pick and a shovel.
Yep.
Yeah. You did at first glance. You didn't see anything. Like you didn't see a pouch of gems sitting out. So it's all if they are there, he probably hid them.
Yep. I'm gonna tell them that I ain't found anything.
It's a darn shame.
But I found some pickaxe and a shovel thingy that may come in handy. Maybe.
And a shovel, 2 cents.
We're in a miner's camp. I would sure hope you'd be able to find a pick and a shovel.
Yeah. But this saves you from having to buy them. So,
True.
we'll say it's, mid-afternoon at this point. What's going to happen? It is tomorrow night at midnight that the mysterious man was supposed to meet Drogon and his crew at the ruined bridge at the north of town.
Well, since somebody gave the drop to somebody else that there might be something in that pit, I think the faster we go, the better.
It's not like they're going to know where to sell it in the next 24 hours, so I think we're fine with that as long as we can make it.
Yeah, but if they take any of it at all, that's lost profit for us.
Well, then why are we talking? Let's go.
All right, let's go. That's the attitude I like to see.
So,
All right. I want to swing back to town really quick and get Robot out if we're heading up to the pit. Robot usually sits by my cart and guards. I put a sheet over it because it's a little obvious. Looks like an armadillo, kind of like a large armadillo, because they usually have like a guarding aspect to them. So
Yep. But clearly an automaton.
yes, clearly definitely like random bits because I keep having to rebuild it due to damage and stuff. So
Yep.
Clover gets her pony.
Sure. So, this is a very small town. And you guys, I mean, you guys have attracted some attention today. And especially once Min recovers an automaton, which, if I'm not mistaken, does not look in any way similar to those that are creations of the Fair Empire.
yeah.
So it doesn't immediately cause people to run and scream in fear, but it does attract a fair amount of attention because it's clearly an automaton that's not of Farron make. So yeah, I'll just say that there's a number of eyes on you as you make your preparations to leave town.
Clover suggests to the group that we make it seem like we're after the one who ran north. And we're just on a bit of a pursuit trail. Maybe he had stolen something from our bag and we're after him for whatever reason, but we're not going to go mining. We're going to go find this person.
So you maybe loudly exclaim to the people near you, "Gotta go chase after that varmint. Can't let any of them get away alive. Honor demands it."
Yeah. Go take down that darn stinking cheater.
Cool. Clover, I would like you to make a deception check, please. Carbon is assisting, so you may make that at advantage.
Yay, thanks, Carbon.
You're welcome.
Oh, nat 20.
Lovely.
Plus, we have perception,
Deception.
plus 3 then.
Cool. So it is enough. I mean, people are kind of expecting more murder out of you people. So it's not like it's that heavy a lift to convince them that you're about to go commit more mayhem. However,
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
since everyone is looking around to see if people are, buying what you're laying down, I would like everyone to make a perception check. Just to see if you accidentally pick up on anything.
6.
5.
Okay.
14.
Okay.
11, so.
With a
Not great.
14. Carbon. A glint catches your eye. So the main trading post. It's 2 stories, and it has a bit of a like a porch that provides a little bit of shade on the boardwalk out in front. And you guys are kind of standing near the big obelisk in the center of town. And as you're just scanning back and forth, up on the roof of that porch, you just see the sun glint on something and a little bit of movement, something small. But that's all you're able to pick up on.
Well, that's weird. Well,
Ellie knows what that is. Clover does not.
Well, no one sees it but Carbon.
Yeah.
yeah.
As a player, I'm sitting here like, oh, no.
And you guys still doing some preparations for a second over here?
Yeah,
We'll
you
just
gotta get your cart loaded up.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pop into the trading post real quick. Hey, Mars,
Who's a good
coming with
pony?
me. I gotta keep an eye on you. I'll need you
Okay.
dying on me again.
All right.
I'm gonna head into the trading post. Just
Mars will follow.
Yeah, you guys stomp in. You can see Hod kind of reach underneath the counter where he probably has a shotgun or something. And just like gives you a look up and down to make sure you're not trying to cause any trouble. What can I do for y'all?
I'm just curious, you got anyone roaming around upstairs in this place of yours?
Nope.
You sure about that?
Well, yeah. Better not be anybody. I'm not charging anyone for. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I got men in a room, but men's outside with y'all.
Well, what if I told you that I just maybe saw somebody rustling around out there?
He'll look.
Go.
He will pull out a shotgun at this point, and we'll kind of look up the stairs.
Well, now we don't want to cause a ruckus, but I'll tell you what. You let us head on up there. My friend here's a real sneaky type. We'll go get the jump on them and make sure they ain't rustling around in your belongings.
Well, I'd be much obliged if there's someone out there trying to steal my goods. Just try not to set fire to the place or leave me a bunch of blood to clean up.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. I'm not looking to cause any more trouble today. Don't worry.
Keeps hold of the shotgun for security, and then just kind of like gestures with it to give you permission to go up the stairs.
Cool. Mars, you go first and see if you can see anything up there. I'll be right behind you in case something happens.
Alrighty.
All right. Are you stealthing or are you just walking?
Mars is gonna stealthy.
Make a stealth roll.
It's a nat 1 with the thing, so it's an 8.
It's not your best performance. Cool. So you stealth up. What are you doing? There's a series of as you come up the stairs at the east side of the building, you can see a series of 6 doors, 3 on each side. 3 kind of overlooking the town square, 3 overlooking the buildings in the back by the alley.
Yeah, Mars, I saw him looking out over the town square down at us, so I might want to check in that direction.
I think Mars would try to listen into the doors facing the town square direction to see if they can hear anyone moving around in there.
Give me 3 perception checks then. One for the door, the easternmost door, center door, westernmost door. Just give them to me in order.
Not your day, Sin.
First one is 11.
Okay.
The next one is 11.
Okay.
Oh no, I rolled the wrong one. Sorry. The next one is a 13.
Okay.
Yes.
And the last one?
It's 2 11s and a 13.
Oh, okay. 2 11s and 13. Yeah. You don't hear anything. There are 3 doors facing the town square.
Just gonna walk over and open the one that's closest to us, I guess.
So the eastern,
so
the westernmost.
Yeah.
That one is locked.
Cool. Try the other 2.
Min, do you lock your door?
Yeah.
Okay. The middle one is not locked. The far eastern one is locked also.
Okay, cool. Open up the middle one. Is there anything in there?
There's probably a bed in there somewhere. But it's mostly just piles of cloth and leather, and like barrels with the lids off, just stuffed with stuff. There's various and sundry storage up here. Smells a little bit musty. But go ahead and give me a perception check.
It's a 10.
You don't notice anything unusual. Mars is there. Mars can also make a perception check or investigate if you like.
Yeah, hey Mars, you seeing anything in here?
Mars will roll the perception.
Okay.
Oh, that's better. It's an 18.
Yay!
Yes. One of the windows is cracked open, which is unusual because people keep their windows closed here mostly to keep the dust out. As you go to look, you can see, you can't quite tell how long the window's been open, but there isn't like a big pile of dust that's blown in, so it obviously hasn't been open for days or weeks. But there is enough dust on the windowsill that you see little marks. Like little dots and swoosh marks in the fine dust that coats the windowsill. You can kind of like press your face up against the dusty, not too clean glass and look outside at the thicker dust that covers this kind of porch roof. And you can see a similar little trail of little fine dots and swoosh marks.
Mars will call Carbon over, be like, look at this. What do you make of it?
It looks like there's something been disturbing the dust.
Something small.
Yeah, a little critter.
It's hard to tell because it doesn't leave like footprints. Like I would say, you know, it's not a rat or a mouse because you've seen tracks like that.
Yeah.
It's maybe that size or maybe smaller, hard to tell.
Can I see if I maybe could figure out what it is?
Yeah, I'm gonna say history is probably the best. Or arcana.
It's the same on either one of them, so we'll just go for it and see. 8.
You have no, like, you rack your brains for like there's like weird desert scorpions. There's all kinds of like, especially once you leave this kind of valley, you know, there's all kinds of very weird creatures, many of them toxic. So it could be some sort of desert dwelling bug or something like that that's gotten up here. Don't know. But just from looking, you can tell that the tracks go over to kind of the edge of this porch roof, which is about where you saw that glint.
I reckon this place has got a bug problem. I don't know, Mars, you know anything about this, or can tell where it's going?
Mars, do a history check.
I think in this case, survival might work. Unless you wish to kind of raise the window up and actually get out there on the roof and take a closer look yourself, in which case investigation.
Survival would be better.
Okay.
There's a 5.
Yep, no idea. Doesn't look remotely familiar.
They ain't got these things in the north.
I
true.
bet it's too cold up there for them. Alright, well, keep an eye out for any shiny bugs, I guess. I don't know, go tell the shopkeep place is clear.
All right. So you guys sneak back down, by which I mean Tromp.
Yeah.
Let him go. Let him know that you didn't find anybody, but there was maybe just a bug or something like that. And he's just like, gross.
Sorry to trouble you. head back out.
Puts his shotgun. Okay, cool. So you rejoin the group. What is everyone doing?
Clover is just looking at Min's automaton like, well, this is a cool animal.
Yeah. It's not an animal, but thank you. Made it.
Wait, you gave birth to this thing?
No. No, that's not how any of this works.
I just like to imagine like the whole time Carpenter and Mars are doing that, Clover's trying to understand what Min's saying.
It's like is that a baby minotaur?
No. You see, and that, it's just full of like technical explanations of how you channel the magic through metal and create working magical circ, and it's just sort of like whoosh, I presume, for Clover.
Yeah.
And then Clover's kind of just looks at it, it's like, well, it's pretty. It's like the takeaway Clover has.
And I assume since we're trying to go back and get something, I'll take the cart to.
Sure.
So.
Yep. Cart. So you put your automaton in the cart, hitch up the donkey, and I assume, are you all heading directly north of town up towards like Hangman's Hill where the guy ran off? Knowing that you're on the wrong side of the Ditchwater. But you probably, I mean, you've seen the ruined bridge. You might be able to get your carts across it. I mean, it still has a full span. It's you don't know exactly how stable it's going to be. But the ruins of the old town, that weird tower, and the pit are on the west side of the Ditchwater, and you guys are currently on the east. The other alternative would be to head south, directly south from the farrier shop, and then cut back up north. Because there is a bridge directly south of the farrier shop. I'm just curious which way you're going.
Clover's given her idea, but let the group decide.
It's your cart, man. You tell us.
We can just take it. We can go to the bridge to the south and then cut north again, because I have to bring the cart to take back the man we're chasing.
Sure.
Okay, but FYI, the man was on the other side.
Yeah, you're having this conversation like, we figure he probably tried to cross the river to get away from us or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay. So you have the whispered conversation and then loudly announce, yeah, we're gonna outsmart that varmint and head to the west side of the river and track him. Cool. So you do. So you guys tromp over the relatively new wooden bridge that spans the Ditchwater just to the south of the main street of town, and then cut up north. There is a kind of a multi-pillared stone arch that makes its way almost down to the river. And just those of you who've been in town for a little while and just had casual conversation, that there are a few caves in the wall of the mesa right over there, kind of where that arch comes out. There was some exploratory mining to see if the silver veins extended over into that area, but that would have been decades ago. So as far as you know, with the exception of maybe some young kids that like to sneak out there and scare themselves or court late at night with each other, I don't think you've heard any rumors of anything of interest. And you travel maybe, it's only maybe 20 minutes before you can see, first of all, the area near the Ditchwater is relatively green. There are grasses and reeds and some sort of succulent plant, kind of like a yucca. And the area kind of directly opposite town is relatively scrubby once you get away from the river. But as you head north, there are more and more cacti and other desert plants, some of them blooming, which have a very nice kind of scent to them, a little sweet. Almost like honeysuckle plus cedar. So there's a very slightly astringent smell, but it's also quite sweet. And kind of rising up out of a thicket of this spiny growth is this, it's almost like an obelisk itself. It is of a very, very, very pale yellow sandstone that looks almost white in the sun. You're going to guess it's probably 60 feet tall. So, you can see it from town, but you've got a clear view of it now. This very, very smooth tower. Frankly, it could just be a monument of some sort. But the rumor around town is it's some weird magical tower that you have to have a special knowledge to be able to get into. And it sits on the far southern end of this ruined town. What you mostly see is just the shell of walls. Unlike the modern Ditchwater Gulch, these are finely cut stone walls, dry mortared. Probably not too much of a role for someone to recognize that the stone is also not native from this region. The stone around here is very like red. And this is that same kind of pure, creamy off-white color. The stones of the buildings in the ruin, however, are very, very worn by wind and the occasional rain and flash flood that makes its way through this valley. But it's almost the same material, but this monument or tower seems to be completely unaffected by any of that. Do you cut through the ruined town, or do you go around? You can either go around it on the riverside or around it on the mesa side. But there's plenty of room to go around it, knowing that the pit is up further to the north.
Clover mentions as we get to the town that young miner person mentioned there might be treasure in this place, but that also usually means there's danger in this place.
And he sort of dismissed that idea, like he thought maybe that's what they were out doing, but he figured that was all just, if there was ever anything of value, it would have been looted 100 years ago. Okay. But he did mention it.
Yeah.
Yay.
So probably nothing, but that's what
whatever we find in that pit's going to be worth more than whatever we can dig up in that dusty old town. Let's just head around it privately.
Just out of curiosity, I would like everyone to make perception checks.
Are we going towards the mesa or towards the ditch?
Oh yeah, as you work your way around.
Whichever side is less noticeable from town.
The mesa side, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go on that side then to try not to be seen where we're going.
Cool.
I got a 16 perception.
Okay.
Got a nat 20.
Ooh.
So it's 23.
Beautiful.
16.
Okay. Carbon gets some dust in their eye, or brushes up against one of these fragrant bushes, and it shaking it. It lets out a cloud of pollen that you have just like a sneezing fit, and aren't really paying attention. It does look like someone has been digging out here. There are several rectangular holes. I mean, they're kind of. I mean, this is sandy, dusty, dirt over stone. So maybe just by the wind, the holes have been kind of backfilled with dust and sand. But clearly, fairly recently, something was dug up. Hard to say.
How do they always get the corners in these rectangle holes in the ground?
Well, they're not pure. They're not perfectly rectangular. That maybe oblong is a better way of describing it. So maybe a couple of feet wide by maybe 4 or 5 feet long. Maybe 6. I mean, they're not perfectly regular.
Like body holes?
A body would fit, more or less.
So we could either have necromancers or ghost crystals around here. Like, that's what Clover kind of says based off what she knows.
Porque no los dos. Anyway, so yeah, it's. I mean, there's nothing like obvious, and there was a good strong wind last night, so any tracks would have been blown up. But you can see, you probably would have missed it. I mean, they're not super duper obvious because everyone else walked right by them and just they look like regular old depressions. But something about them to a couple of you speaks that someone was digging for something out here. But relatively recently. So maybe the young man was right. Maybe they were out here looking for treasure. But you didn't find anything on them, and there wasn't any obvious treasure sitting in Drogon's tent. So, but another 5 minutes.
Well, if we don't find anything in the pit, we know where to come back.
Yep. As you skirt around on the mesa side, another 5 minutes, and you can see this pit, like well in advance. But it's hard to get a sense of its full scale until you're kind of standing right up on the lip. It is really probably only about 100 feet across, and north to south, and maybe 150 east to west. But it is very, very deep. As you look down, just because of the glare of the sun, it looks like it just sinks into complete darkness. And there's
Clover takes her rock and throws it. Just waits to hear a sound.
You hear nothing, and then clattering, and then more clattering, and then echoey clattering. Make a maybe perception. I think perception.
18.
Yeah, that's hundreds and hundreds of feet down.
Well, I don't have any rope left, but even if I did, I'm not sure it'd fit down there.
There is a narrow, so you can see the almost like badly weathered, very, very dried, almost fossilized shell of some sort of mechanism kind of clinging to one side, the far side of this pit. Some sort of platform and like a projection with like bits of very, very crumbly rope attached to it. So clearly at some time there was a crane or some other mechanism that was used for lowering things up and down. But there is, at least the little bit that you can see in the sunlight, there is a very narrow kind of spiraling ledge that works its way down into darkness. With those perception checks, I will also say there are one set of very recent footprints.
And they aren't carbon footprints. They're someone else's footprints.
Yes, they are a human or humanoid's footprints. That and it's quite windy. So you think in the past couple of, just based on the crispness of the footprints and little markings in the dust on the stone, that this is in the past couple of hours. Someone has been this way.
How long ago did we kill people?
3 or 4 or 5 hours ago.
So about the same time, or did they come after? Like
a little bit more recently.
Ooh.
I mean, it's hard to say.
You know, maybe we are after the person that we let go.
Maybe we're after that person that you went and blamed to.
I will say the "we're closed" sign was up on the farrier's shop when you went to.
I was going to ask. I grabbed my pony. We would know.
Yeah. He was not in the shop.
Okay.
Told
Hey,
people
that
I
just
wasn't
means
gonna try to murder nobody, and you done sent this fella over here. He's gonna steal all our stuff.
he's going to steal it, or is he going to make sure that the monsters go to him and we don't have to?
I guess it could be pretty good bait. How loud's he scream, you know?
We'll find out soon enough, I think.
So, what's the plan?
Look, you stay up here. Keep an eye out, all right?
Now, I will say,
a pony.
That you could take the pony and even the cart down, at least from what you can see. It probably actually was, the ramp was built to facilitate small carts. I mean, you got a pony and a donkey, so like a full-size horse and carriage, there's no way it would make it down. It's going to be precarious though. You can, as you look more and kind of shade your eyes, you can see that there were a series of posts and maybe a rope that formed a guide line on the kind of the cliff side, or the pit side of this spiral ramp, but it's long since rotted away. You're just seeing like stumps of wood and trailing little bits of rope. So clearly this was when it was in production. Some people used to haul stuff up by cart. So you could risk it with your pony and your donkey cart.
Yeah, this is lucky number 7. The first 6 weren't too lucky. I think we'll have you stay up here.
Yeah, we'll tie off the cart and the pony. I will have robot walk though, because that'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, so you hitch your donkey and your pony to a dead tree. It seems pretty stout. But you're going to take your robot with you. And then what?
Guess we just start heading down.
Yeah, right. I got this lantern here. I'll take the lead.
Cool. So you make like so you kind of have to jig over a little bit to the east to find where the ramp comes up to ground level, and there's a little bit of a clamber over some rocks, and you can tell that the edges of this pit have, like, some parts of it have collapsed. So there's a little bit of climbing, but nothing that I'm going to make you roll for, to actually make your way down over a little bit of rock fall in onto this ramp. And you make maybe 2/3 of a circuit around, and then you enter into the shadow. So the sun is kind of behind you and you're cutting around the north side, and then you enter into the shadow. It takes a moment for your eyes to adjust. The temperature drops 10 degrees as soon as you step out of the sun. Those of you obviously who have dark vision, it's just a moment to reacclimate yourself. And you can see now, especially that you're in the darkness or dim light, at least looking down, the pit narrows ever so slightly, but you can just see this winding ramp going down and down and down and down until your dark vision gives out. So I think we will conclude this episode with like an aerial view, or like a lift out view of you all disappearing into the shadow, as we see just the little bobbing bit of light from your ever bright lantern begin to slowly wind its way down into who knows where, but almost certainly death and danger.
And then it just zooms over to the pony and the donkey.
Yeah.
Just chilling there.
Just gnawing at whatever plant life is right around it. Cool.
Yeah, we just got raided.
Oh no. We are just wrapping up. Thanks everyone for raiding in. Oh, doing Curse of Strahd. Excellent. That one's creepy. This is going to be a little bit creepy too, but we're not quite there. So yes. Well, good news is, raiders and everyone else who didn't catch the first part, we will put part 1 up on the YouTube. Should be about this time tomorrow that it goes live, and we will be back again at about 1 p.m. next Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Misha knows the schedule better than I do, for part 2 of a planned part 3 of Dastardly Deeds and Ditchwater Gulch. This is our revisiting of the same world as our long-running Fae Queen's Heart campaign that has at least temporarily concluded, but it's a very different part of the world that's a little bit more Wild West than it is traditional high fantasy. Let's do the thing that we do when wrapping up and have folks let everyone know who you are and where they can see you next. This time, I think we'll go with Tough first.
Hi, I am 98 Tough Love, or Tough for Tor for some other nickname. You can find me on Twitch at 98 Tough Love. I'm a variety streamer. I do a bunch of different things. Sometimes I play TTRPGs. which we actually finally scheduled masks. So Masks Clockwork will be continuing on February 26th at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that will be good. And you can also find me on Twitter at 98 Tough Love. And I usually just retweet when I'm going to be here. And I'll be back here on Thursday for Spectrum Squad. So that'll be good. Go Sin.
Hi, I'm Sin or potato9_juice. I stream on Twitch at potato9_juice. My next stream is March 7th at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. You can find me here in chat or in Justice's channel hanging out or in Tuff's channel. Yeah. Misha?
All right. I am Misha_less_than3 here on Twitch, not that I stream. You can find me on Twitter at Misha Weha, which that's just Misha with a WEHA at the end. I think the next time I'll be back here is actually in a couple weeks when we continue this story. But other than that, yeah, that's pretty much where you find me. Kelly?
And yeah, I am My Fair Kelly. You can find me on most social medias that way, including Twitch, where you'll find any of these people around here playing some D&D with me every now and again. We have no set date for the next one, but maybe in a couple weeks. And yeah, it's kind of all I do. And I'll be back here on Thursday as well with Tuff and Michael for Spectrum Squad.
Awesome. And I am Zero or Zero Daylight or Michael or DM or GM or Keeper or what have you. I stream here a couple times a week doing a variety of different TTRPGs, almost exclusively things that aren't D&D. So this is actually the exception, not the rule. And then when it's not Sports Ball Sunday, Sunday nights over at the Licity channel and Juice's TV program, where we do more kind of one-shots and limited series in small indie games, or even ones that I happen to write in the middle of the week because I can't find one that suits the story that we're trying to tell. You can, so definitely if you are new here, go ahead and click that follow button and the little alert so you can know when we're live next. Better yet, go over to cpluscontent.tv. That is our YouTube channel. You can find all of our many, many episodes of D&D and other TTRPGs there. I was playing with the channel a little bit yesterday to try to create some theming. So like now you can go watch all the sci-fi stuff if you want to and all the horror stuff. So trying to make it a little bit easier to navigate. And yeah, you will see me here next for Spectrum Squad. And then we will be back on Sunday with part 2 of Dastardly Deeds in Ditchwater Gulch. And we have a very, very long list of things that are in planning and scheduling. So if you are curious about what we do, and if you'd like to connect with the folks that you see on screen and the other people who play and watch these games, you can go ahead and head over to community.cpluscontent.tv, which is our Discord. Feel free to join, ask questions, introduce yourself, share pictures of your painted minis, and share all your dice porn, and talk about all the beloved IPs that we raid for ideas for TTRPGs. Everyone's welcome in. And if you love TTRPGs and you love playing, there's even an opportunity to say, hey, I'd like to play with you guys sometime. So there's a C+ Next channel you can drop into and express interest, and maybe we'll have a conversation about it. Cool. I think that is us for today. Let us see who is currently live that we might want to raid out to. I am definitely open to suggestions. I see a couple of folks that are doing TTRPGs. We've got the Onyx Path doing Scion. We've got Dork Tales is doing Deadlands. I think we kind of have to go head over to Dork Tales unless someone has a strong opinion otherwise.
Nope, that sounds perfect.
Yep. I mean, more Weird West, the better. Awesome. Right. Make sure that works. Yep. Go ahead and copy the raid call with the die and the ahoy whale and the hype unicorn if you are a subscriber. If not, you can grab the one I'm about to throw into chat now with the emoticon. Show Dork Tales some love. If you don't follow them, you probably should. And we will see you back here again soon. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.